Alrighty then, gamers. Good evening / afternoon. Hope everyone has had a chill Sunday so far. And most are probably excited for Combo Breakers Strive Finals later today. So as far as the Combo Breakers Strive schedule goes, I believe the top 24 till top 8 is gonna actually start fairly soon and overlap with our show. Unfortunate for sure. But Bounty Hunters does finish before top 8 starts. So at least yours truly ain't gonna miss the hottest matches at the end of the evening. And perhaps it is within possible parameters to mount 2 display adapters in front of you and watch both. I don't know, we perhaps have the technology, perhaps don't, depending on where you hail from. But either way, you are now watching Bounty Hunters FT7, and we are a weekly show match event for players of all skill levels, region free for everyone to participate. And the name of the game tonight is, of course, Guilty Gear Strive First to 7 Wins. I'm your usual host QK, and I'll be chilling and screaming with you guys throughout the 7 matches we've got lined up for today. Yes, English. It's not my first language, believe it or not. Alright, let's take a quick look-see while we still have like 5-ish minutes to go. What we got in store for tonight? So we start with Norwegians and end with Norwegians tonight once again. Thunder Kitty Johnny from Norway is the first one of our 2 players making their debuts on Bounty Hunters tonight. Of course, Mox being the second player. Don't have much data on Thunder Kitty, but I've heard lots about her from the other Norwegian players that I've interacted on the occasion. And I also heard a rumor that Thunder Kitty has met her opponent tonight, Elite Bridget from France, in a tournament bracket recently, where allegedly Elite had the upper hand. That means the stage is basically set for a storyline here, and we'll see how Thunder Kitty has managed, if she has managed, to prepare to extract her revenge here tonight, potentially. The second matchup tonight is a wildcard Switzerino, as our previous matchup fell through. The Finnish duo Beni and Maunuri showing up to showcase the highest level Finnish Chip and Finnish Kai gameplay, as they're pretty much the only active players of these 2 characters on a competitive level in Finland, I think. Other than, you know, of course, pocket characters. But other people who play them as mains at the moment. The cool thing is that it's been a while since we've seen Maunuri in action, even offline, since he, I believe, missed install 2024. But mark my words, Maunuri is one of the lesser celebrated top level players in Finland. Well capable of turning, or rather running it top 8, and perhaps maybe even strong enough to challenge the Finnish Holy Trinity of Raigen, Shady, and Solid on a good day. I mean, technically, if you think about it, the requirement to join Jalluminati, allegedly the strongest Finnish esports organization, you have to beat one of the founding members in a Jallu FT5. And that is a 1-to-5 competition where the infamous Finnish booze Jallumiina is, of course, one of the integral components of the competition. So yeah, by the definition, I believe Maunuri has at one point or another beat Raigen or Solid, I assume, since it's part of Jalluminati. Either way, cool matchup. You know, footsies, strong pokes, swift conversions, since both of these characters are Red Wild Assault users. You know the vibes. Very standard Season 3 power fantasy matchup where fundamentals at their core are tested. In the third matchup slot, we've got Meadow and Mox. Meadow's third ABBA match on Bounty Hunters. So I think we're probably starting to reach a point of you know, able to pilot your character relatively comfortably. So, you know, starting to see good stuff. Mox, of course, the other aforementioned newcomer, another Baiken player, another player who I don't know much about, so it's going to be an interesting Christmas present to see what do we got from Mox 38, a newest addition to Bounty Hunters in Baiken front. In the fourth slot, we got Cass versus Luka, UK Mirror, another Baiken versus Bridget matchup. I think at this point, this should be the most played matchup overall on Bounty Hunters, and we've had this so many times recently. And I'm still a little bit on the, you know, sort of on the fence whether, like, you know, how does this matchup actually go? It's been going like back and forth. Sometimes, you know, Baikens win, sometimes Bridgets win. But it seems like a good matchup in terms of at least balance. Fifth one brings us Elverts, Ishnard, Sin versus how do I decode this? Is it Elletraschinas is how you pronounce it? Pardon my barbaric Finnish tongue. Hopefully L is fine. Two players who are making occasional appearances on Bounty Hunters. Elverts, another one of the France's Sin crew. And God knows they got some strong Sin players over there in France. Been a couple of months since we saw Elverts last time, but now making another entrance, and opposition tonight, L has been absent a while since we saw them compete with Elfeld previously. And I suppose now we're moved on to the next DLC stage, another DLC character, if you will. Can't blame, honestly. Abba is so much fun and surprisingly strong as well, considering that this is an initial DLC release. Sixth slot brings us Whammel on her Bridget, finding no shortage of high-octane matches in the advanced bracket. Whammel Bridget, that is, representing UK, and she's gonna meet an old veteran in form of Sierra Vice. Whammel is, of course, in the condition of her life, I would assume, being on the grind and, you know, actively competitive in the game. Sierra has slightly more variance. I think Sierra, of course, playing lots of different games and carrying out the TO duties in the German-speaking community. I think when Sierra is on the grind, he's basically over and over proved to be an unstoppable force in this game. But he does have a hiatus here and there when it comes to Strive. So I believe, you know, he's, I think he's just back from another one of those hiatuses. So it'll be interesting to see if we have a rusty version of Sierra tonight, or if the man's just ready to demolish, kill, brutalize, and all that sort of stuff. And then, of course, the last matchup of the evening brings us Revill versus Strelitzia. Revill's second time on Bounty Hunters, and, you know, long have we waited as well. We're pretty much talking about top two strongest Sin players in Europe here. The Grandmaster himself, Patachu, has traveled overseas to represent Europe in the North American front currently at Combo Breaker. And in the meanwhile, the brightest acolytes hold down the fort this side of the ocean. Revill's opponent today is none other than Strelitzia, a familiar face on Bounty Hunters already, known for his last-minute comebacks over and over in pretty much all of the matches he's played on Bounty Hunters so far. As Asuka player who has made tremendous improvements recently as well, such as triumphing over Rygant's May last week, was a pretty dope matchup, definitely. I think that's been like a decisive nail in the coffin, so that everyone at current can say that Strelitzia is absolutely wrestling with the best of them in Europe. Right, but let us direct our attention to the first one of the evening. Let's see who we have in the lobby already. So we have Thunder Kitty ready to go, so we're gonna need Elite. What is our ID? This one? Alright. And now all that is left is wait. So Johnny versus Bridget, huh? I want to say, like, this is another matchup that we've seen on Bounty Hunters quite a bit recently as well. We've had a very massive influx of Bridget players, so we've seen all kinds of Bridget matchups. I think it's probably okay to talk about Bridget a little. Bridget, a very interesting case in the current version of the game, in my opinion. Bridget kind of has, like, everything. She seems theoretically a very, very strong character. I think the only huge thing holding her back, however, is Season 3 changes. Most notably, the universal mechanics. There's like a lot of, you know, a lot of things that are just working against her at the current. White Wild Assault users will, you know, have the luxury of, you know, getting to skip neutral against her here and there, which is of course not the kind of stuff that you would love to deal with a character of this archetype. But then also, like, Red Wild Assault users are kind of annoying as well. They make you block anything. You're basically blocking nasty pressure. You're taking a mix-up, strike throw, perhaps something even worse, depending on the character in question. So I think if this iteration, like, it's impossible to say that you could look at things like this, but if this iteration of Bridget was, you know, sort of the past conundrum in Guilty Gear Strive, Bridget would be super, super strong. And I mean, she is super strong, so she's probably one of the characters that you gotta keep an eye out for, depending on what kind of system changes they implement in the future Arc System Works. Because should Wild Assault be nerfed, should, like, meter gain be nerfed, stuff like that, Bridget might actually gain some relative power increase, potentially, and be one of the contenders to, you know, to be like top 1, top 2, top 3, whatever you want to speculate. But she's definitely an interesting and fun and a strong character to play at the moment. So it does make a lot of sense, and she's been kind of like on the rise for a very long time as well. Like, soon after being, quotations, fixed initially after her release, she's never been bad, for sure. She's been pretty good, and the sort of players have learned progressively to control her better and better. So, like, she's kind of like a, whatchamacallit, like a solid, it's definitely a solid Guilty Gear Strive pick. Johnny, however, one of the newer DLC characters, Johnny still hasn't received his initial fix patch. Most of the DLC characters tend to be introduced in Guilty Gear Strive with some amount of problems in their kit, which end up getting fixed within like 1 or 2 content patches. Johnny hasn't really gotten one of those yet. However, Johnny is also one of the characters who, Johnny's case is very interesting because he has a very massive disadvantage in the form that he's the only character in the game who can't dash block. And if you play this game at a very high level, the lack of dash block is absolutely crucial, critical even. But on the other hand, like his consistency issues aside, with some of his set play and combo routes, and you know sometimes turn up being a piece of shit and what have you, he's looking like he's like a pretty decent character at a rookie to intermediate level. Now getting a jump in. Here we're doing the good stuff. As soon as you get a knockdown and get to deal into a guard crush, Johnny is generally finding himself at home. It's very difficult to block mix-ups for his guard crush to begin with, eliminating your button buffer and being an all sorts of overall nuisance. Very hard to defend against Johnny guard crushing you and dashing at you for a strike throw. Speaking of strike throw, we got an opportunity to guard crush here into close slash. Immediately goes for a YRC as it becomes available. I believe you can't YRC guard crushes, and you can't burst them either. So there is that amount of the period where you kind of have to just hold whatever Johnny is gonna send your way for a while. Right, now challenging the vault deal. I think the vault deal is actually like speaking of the devil, is one of Johnny's like, ooh, got the burst bait here. Thunder Kitty still working up with a lot of meter to spend. Shouldn't be killed by this combo as the wall gives away very fast, but also since Bridget is not the highest damage character. Where's the far slash? Red Wide Assault, you already know. Into the TK Mistfinder Joker trick. The weaker hitting super for sure, but we'll be able to. Oh, nice into a throw. The weaker is hitting super out of the 2-2. What's my name? Of course, dealing a lot of damage, but Joker trick has definitely more utility. Is able to hard knockdown from way further away, and for some combos you're kind of happy that you have Joker trick up your sleeve as a combo ender. Nice, the ball deal out of the corner, and another one. Gotta be very careful here. Here comes the Mistfinder guard crush, and this strike throw is so tricky to defend against. Another TK Mistfinder, quick RC. And Elite has spent their burst resources, actually both players have. So no more free cards out of the pressure. Nice instant air dash leading into a throw. I think because Thunder Kitty didn't deal immediately is that actually gonna track? Yes, it will! Into a knockdown, now Elite looking for that one more hit. Big 2 heavy counter hit that drops the combo. Wild Assault into a setup. OTG not quite enough. Deflect shield misses, and so does the 5 heavy. Ooh, first game of the set going down to the wire. But it is Elite who comes out of that victorious. And that's quite the chess match to build upon moving forward. So the 5B round start. Very interesting button for Bridget. She's one of those characters who has a little further reaching P buttons than some of the other characters in the cast. The Joker trick that we were talking about, delivering Thunder Kitty a hard knockdown here. Elite, of course, has quite a lot of resources to spend here on defense. That was a very nicely timed 2 heavy, almost too late even, but Joker trick is gonna take care of the yo-yo set here. Elite misses a throw, and Thunder Kitty just comfortably lands there and gets a throw of their own. I would imagine, the far slash actually, or was that 5 heavy ending up anti-airing Johnny out of that dash. Like shield does push Elite away. But I think it's like, especially when the yo-yo is set and the rolling movement is available, Bridget tends to have, with a lot of her setups, a lot of forward moving momentum that is kind of hard to push away with deflect shield. Now with the corner, are we gonna end with the hard knockdown? Yes, indeed. The break, though, breaks the wall a little prematurely. Both players drifting forward, but Thunder Kitty, or rather Elite, was way ahead of the business here. Right, clean 6P, immediate burst from Thunder Kitty. Getting out the shape like previous round. Both players sort of equal amount of resources. TK Mistfinder finds its mark. It's gonna take the hard knockdown with the Joker trick. Decent amount of damage. But Elite again has the... Ooh, I wonder if Thunder Kitty missed an instant air dash into a safe jump here. Oh. Ooh, that was a good idea. But this time, I think it was a little late. I wonder if that's actually a true punish situation if you are early enough with the Joker trick. I imagine so. Which would, of course, give Johnny an interesting, unique ability to just tell Bridget no out of those far-range yo-yo setups during your block strings. Right, one game each, Thunder Kitty on board as well. Makes sense, both games have been super even so far. This is with the 5 heavy, no worries. You actually gotta be kinda careful as Johnny that you don't miss your heavy buttons. Because Johnny is a character who has around the same amount of recovery as, you know, Nagoriyuki with some of his, you know, heavier misses. Good match there out of the command grab. The reversal is safe jumped, however. Soft knockdown here. But Elite has quite a lot of quite a large life lead here. Very late 6P, still manages to catch Thunder Kitty on the landing frames. Lots of meter as well. Elite definitely has all the options in the world available. What are we gonna go for? Oh, I like that Thunder Kitty. Saw that RPS earlier after the Volt Deal RC. Elite used previously YRC as well. And with that great RPS read, able to just completely steal that round away. That was basically Thunder Kitty on her last pixel there. So really good stuff. Red Wild Assault, hard knockdown. Whips a far slash there as a meaty, unfortunate there. And now Elite pushing towards the corner. Thunder Kitty building some really nasty resources of her own as well. Soft knockdown. We're gonna go back to neutral here. Advantage is definitely on Thunder Kitty's side, having all the resources. However, that's a very efficient resource trade that Elite got there. Bursting, nullifying not only the Wild Assault, but also getting out of the pressure sequence. And now it's Elite who has an overwhelming amount of resources. Full bar ready to be spent. But again, the kickstart break. Straight in Elite's favor for sure here. Using the killing machine at round start position. Ooh, about without deal this time around. Alright, we have layers. And at that point, you're basically asking your opponent, are you ready to react to this? The Volt is a very fast, you know, makeshift instant air dash or air dash forward kind of a thing. Again, Joker Trick, super fast move, but won't be able to get in there in time. Elite recovers, however. Does he recover out of this pressure string? Yes, he does. And now we have the pressure going. Forced to break the wall with a soft knockdown again, letting Thunder Kitty go back to neutral. Straight into the Joker Trick, however, from the drift forward, Blue RC will be able to block, and now big frame trap. Thunder Kitty had a burst there, but held onto it. Probably either... Yeah, there's a lot of layers there, especially when you're getting your burst back at the very last hits of the combo. Because it's reasonable to believe that your opponent is watching your burst resources and might be willing to hard bait with like a jump cancel or something similar. Right, 2S is already active, leading into a frame trap too heavy. With juggling perhaps too much launch here. First world problems, huh? Into a fast RC, drops the combo again, but drifts back in there. Elite has a button active already. And the FRC into a low. Initially catches Thunder Kitty, but no big conversion. Both players have spent a lot of resources for really tricky kind of pressure situations, but no. What? Huh? Wait a second, was that... What? Why didn't the command grab go active? Hello? Am I dreaming? Am I on drugs? What the hell? I mean, it's fairly common for you to go for Rock the Baby from an airborne position where it would fall onto the ground and throw the opponent, but I've never... I don't even know. I need a fast replay of that. But securing a plus frame position using Killing Machine from the round start, and that should be enough. No, goes for a hard bait. I think this was Elite trying to check the burst resources and thought that Thunder Kitty would have the burst faster than anticipated, so ended up dropping the combo accidentally too early. A tragedy. Now Thunder Kitty finds a throw and a deal with that red wild assault. Not gonna be a kill. They needed just a little bit of tension to get the kill guaranteed. Drift forward and find the target in the air. There was no way for Elite out of that other than take the bet and try to air tech that.
Duel 1.
It's a very peculiar RPS situation where the opponent drifts under you while you're airborne and, you know, uses, slows down your frames. You're basically in a guaranteed strike throw mix-up that is definitely not in your favor. Nice instant air dash once again. Thunder Kitty has been pretty good at reading those, block strings into a yo-yo setup and then calling them out with an instant air dash. There we go, a little more standard, traditional rock the baby. Not whipping this time around. Trade, perhaps. The position was in Thunder Kitty's favor, but she is running very low on life, so gotta be very careful not to trade here for Thunder Kitty. There we go, from the rolling movement, finds a stray hit and converts. Elite.
Duel 2.
Here we go, once again. The makeshift instant air dash. This time blocks the instant overhead. TK Mistfinder. We got those. That already kind of says to the opponent, alright, I understand how your character kind of works. If you always take that instant overhead, it's kind of like, it could be said that you're not quite on the Yomi layer that your opponent is playing, and or you're not thinking about the options that they could represent. Also a very peculiar jump K hit drive-by there from Thunder Kitty. Right, interception from the rolling movement and the full combo. Bridget is definitely one of those characters who, that was a lot of damage as well. But yeah, Bridget is one of those characters who has, long corner carrying combos, really cool combos. 5 heavy counter hit here. The combo drops a little early. Backdash secures a close slash for Thunder Kitty, but again, won't be able to make it work perfectly. First has been used. Did you press something? Yes, you did. Trying to set up the yo-yo and getting Joker tricked. Decent amount of corner carry from that. And now, deal. Smart plays from Elite. Backtracks from that card position. Instant air dash out so that the turn up massive explosive hitbox ain't gonna guard crush you. And Elite snatching the lead here by just a sliver. Once again, there we go with the instant air dashes. I think very few of those instant air dashes have gotten contested. I mean, I think Elite has contested every single one when he wasn't in a process of, setting up the yo-yo. Good RPS, go in with the 2K. Making Thunder Kitty 6p whiff. And here we go once again. Yo-yo has been set, so the rolling movement comes in. A little awkward angle there, won't be able to pick that up. Spinning 50 meter for the Bolt Deal RC. The classic Swipe Travel YRC from the previous game, making its comeback. It's such an important tool for Johnny as well. Oh, that's gonna be a punish. Good block on the 5D. That was fully charged as well, I believe. Tried to end the round prematurely with that big damage 5D. Still gets around though, even after getting punished out of that. Yeah, there we go. If you don't spend the 50 meter on that vault deal, it's gonna be hella minus, and it's definitely not gonna be your turn. So generally a tool that you have to save 50 meter for if you want to get a lot of value out of it. It's a very strong tool, don't get me wrong though. 5 heavy reaches far enough so that the deflect shield completely nullifies kill from Thunder Kitty. The 2K is active. Yeah, that was good recognition there. I mean, there were a couple of paths that Elite could have played there. Could have DP'd after seeing that the 2K is active already. But I think the more safer play is just to block as you see yourself drifting into an active hitbox. Instant air dash again. This time Elite at a perfect spacing, and the second one is 6 speed. Rolling movement to the other side. Oh, but the close slash! That close slash from Johnny reaches so high up in the air. One of the best close slash anti-airs in the game. Yes, the RC to keep up the pressure here. Without the turn up, without the card that you're aiming to slash with Mistfinder, it's gonna be around minus, what is it, minus 15 or something? Very punishable either way. Right through the wall, 2K stuck out, so that's gonna be cleaved by my killing machine, and a 5 heavy gets the burst out just in time. Burst, rather RC. Thunder Kitty has spent all of her resources, unfortunately, here, so the pressure not continuing swiftly. And good on Elite also realizing that that was a, that was basically a position where Thunder Kitty didn't really have any sort of safe way to keep up the pressure either. Could have like hang back, dealt, but just going into a raw deal has its disadvantage or has its risks. Vulnerable to the opponent, or like to opponent doing basically anything against you. But this deal is not gonna be challenged. We got the RC as well, another bait, but Elite smartly holding onto the burst, forcing Thunder Kitty to go for 2 awkward burst baits and getting none for their troubles. Deal again. Yep, contest immediately. Now this is gonna be, fast FR, so not FR, bar slash there from Thunder Kitty round start. Even though Bridget has pretty decent and interesting round start options. Ooh, nice snatch out of the sky, deal into a big counter hit. The turn up, however, causes the hard knockdown, or rather the wall break. Jump slash from the air, Elite finds the backdash, close slash against backdash, mounting their comeback potentially. But look at these resources from Thunder Kitty. Thunder Kitty can basically do anything that she wants. And still, here we go, just tosses from a very safe distance. That was basically, there's not much you're gonna be doing against that from that spacing. I think the best thing is you can try to back off and try to make it so that the card that they're dealing from the airborne position is gonna be whiffed and not sliced into. Good 6-speed. Follow through though. Yeah, that's gonna be a punish. Look at that, landing straight next to Elite. I forgot how minus that is, but it is definitely at least -1, or rather -2, so guaranteed throw if you basically end up next to the opponent. Right through the wall. Important round here for Thunder Kitty. Snatches Elite out of the sky, but that comes fairly expensive, having to spend the blue RC there to gain that. And now the resources on Elite's front is mounting up slowly. RC picking up with a 2B and then dashing in. Wow. Well, deal over the yo-yo set initially. Burst, keep there in the corner, needs one more hit. Close slash is it. And as we advertised, it would have been sort of a disaster here for Thunder Kitty if Elite got this one. Would have been able to run away with so much momentum and so big of a lead. But now with only one game of a buffer separating the two players, seems much more doable, don't you think? Big counter hit into 2D. Able to score decent amount of corner carry from that one, but not too much damage. On the other front, here comes Thunder Kitty with, I wonder if they RC'd a little too early so the Mistfinder didn't have time to come out. Deal into into DP. If Johnny is at a very close distance, that DP and reversals overall, if you got a forward moving reversal super, that's really great against Johnny. If you're basically in the spacing, you do open yourself up to getting DPs. Speaking of DPs, this should take the round here for Thunder Kitty. Slice them. J is the name. It's gonna be carved upon Elite's soul for now. Nice pick up there from the deal and a shimmy there. Taking a couple of steps, traversing really close, then taking a step back and close slash. Perfect. Little zoning with the Mistfinder, colliding with the yo-yo there. Interesting. There we go. Almost a punish. I forgot how fast Bridget's far 5 heavy is. Should probably be able to punish Mistfinder on block, right? If you're fast enough. Some overheads. Thunder Kitty staying tight, blocking basically every one of these. Even the fast RC. But now Elite, again, challenging after the bulk deal without RC. Reaching for some amount of buttons there. 2K counters Thunder Kitty and holding down the fort in the corner. Elite assuming a little bit more zoner-ish position. Oh no, misses that close slash though. And now the position's completely flipped. RC is there. YRC pushing Thunder Kitty slightly further away. The misfire that Thunder Kitty stored there was the horizontal one, which won't be able to anti-air Elite out of the air approach. Speaking of closing the air paths, the jump slash for Johnny, nice 6K as well, making the whip punish work, and the heart knockdown using the 50 burst. And what's it gonna be? Into with jump slash into a throw. And with the fuzzy throw, Elite was on top of that mix-up. Careful. There we go, I was looking for it as soon as you saw Elite. Twitch. It was Joker trick. RC, very good presence of mind, sees that the combo should kill just barely, so spends the 100 meter and takes the round. You could see in the Thunder Kitty's eyes, she was, assuming that position with that 100 meter. If you goddamn dare to press that button, I'm gonna send my card at you. Right, close slash. Needed burst from Elite. Again, this time though, from the other side of the screen. I guess it depends on... It could depend on the spacing, because it does, as fast as Joker trick is, from a close distance, it takes a couple of frames to travel. Ooh, footsies, 2Ks meet. This time, Elite's 2K is the one that triumphs. Very safe, just backdashing and opting to, instead of going for the anti-air, just opting to tag Thunder Kitty out of those jumps. Of course, Johnny, I think Johnny has a, relatively, what should we call it, his instant air dash doesn't take him super far, and it tends to be one of the slower ones. However, the Joker trick here catching Elite out of the rolling movement. Now the pressure doesn't have any resources to spend here. So the best we can probably do is try to box Elite in the corner. She is dancing throw, and the dance finally pays off. Get the wall stop. And able to build 50 meter just in time to get the wall break with a hard knockdown. Now one mix-up could take Thunder Kitty to a leading position, and it's the close slash again. The little bit of hesitation or the gap there. Jump in. Safe jump. Wait. Give Elliot a couple of frames to hang themselves with, and then go for the big counter hit close slash. It has been working so well for Thunder Kitty. Now once again, back and forth, Elite was able to build a couple of rounds of momentum here. But good on Thunder Kitty coming back from that -2 position and get the hard bait on the burst here as well. Joker trick. These bursts in the current season are a little hard to punish if there's a lot of distance between you and the opponent. So it's great to have a super like that for Johnny, where you can just, comfortably convert into 1, 2, 3 super. Here we go. The card is set. TK misfire once again, followed up by Joker trick. You know it. Couple more conversions perhaps. Thunder Kitty didn't have the 50 meter going into this safe jump, so can't break it or can't kill just yet. However, your guard broken. Elite recognizes the dangerous situation, goes for the gold burst before all is lost. Roger dive from an obscure angle, the far slash, reaches fast, reaches wide, far away, tacked out of the rolling movement once again, and Thunder Kitty is now the player with 2 games over the opponent. What a turnaround. We were talking about the time that Elite and Thunder Kitty did meet in a couple of the... I can't remember what brackets they were. I think one of the intermediate ones, right? And now, it would be really great for Thunder Kitty being able to flip those previous results on their head. Then again, FT7 is such a different beast compared to double elimination brackets. You do really look at this combo, man. The corner carry, coast to coast, and more than half of your opponent's life. I think yes, Elite was pressing something there that could have even been a start of the super, maybe. Who knows? Again, the distance is too great for Joker Trick to reach there in time. Gets a safe jump instead, and straight into DK Mistfinder. I see. Not even bothering to set up the deal there. Because Thunder Kitty knew she only needed to get one more. Good trade here for Thunder Kitty out of that 6k and the throw. We dealing, we wheeling, oh, we dancing! And getting a big close slash counter hit. It could be over on the next one. Thunder Kitty with massive momentum riding behind her. Not this time, Elite picking their spot, getting reversal here. Is that gonna be enough? Yes, indeed, Jade. One of the most decently damaging supers in the game is gonna be able to deliver enough damage on the Pixie Bridget, and Thunder Kitty has done it on her debut match on Bounty Hunters. Everything has been forgiven. Everything has been avenged. A very nice back and forth set to start out this week's Bounty Hunters. What else do we got in store? Oh yeah, it's gonna be a high level, high speed match coming up next. Beni and Maunuri jumping in to replace the pairing that was initially Anime Memes and Decoy Snell. However, we unfortunately couldn't do that matchup, so we defaulted to this one instead. So two players very prominent in the top competitive Guilty Gear Strive competitive community in Finland. Both of these players you can definitely and you will definitely see in top 8s. I think the more interesting part is probably Maunuri, who competes much less than Beni. Beni goes to a lot of events. Beni participates in a lot of, a lot of community stuff. So we kind of have decent understanding where Beni stands, how they play, and all that kind of stuff. Maunuri, though, a little more rare sight as far as, Finnish players go. Has been on Bounty Hunters only once or twice, if I recall correctly. And those have been on a different character. I think those were while Maunuri was still playing Potemkin. Correct me if I'm wrong. So very footsie kind of matchup. 6P into straights RC. So whenever you see chip players RCing very aggressively out of their whiffed anti-airs, it's usually because chip 6P is one of the weakest in the game in terms of recovery time. If you whiff chip 6P, it is a good 6P, very good boxes, but it whiffs for 10,000 years, and it's very feasible to, assume that your opponent is gonna be able to punish you if you miss an anti-air with it. It was a cool finish there on the round for Beni, using the shuriken, which does not deal the most amount of damage, but oh, here we go, misses the punish on the DP here. Maunuri perhaps still warming up, getting all of those timings on point. DP perfectly counter poked by the 5 heavy from Beni. Now with the hard wall break, opting to take it with a burst. Makes sense, because Maunuri is on their last legs here, or on the last stock, sees the burst coming. It is the gold kind though, so hard to punish if you block it. Onto the other side. I'm not sure if that was a mistake from Beni or not, but due to the massive amount of meter Beni still had there riding on that situation, will be able to save themselves and still seize the momentum. Beni opens it up 1-0. Of course, I think Beni will be, to some extent, the base setter in this matchup, as, Chip Zanuf tends to be. Kai, of course, probably equal-ish, or... Oh, that was a very... What? The layers here. I think Beni was reading that Maunuri was going for a successful anti-air there, which I think Maunuri did do. But the air DP, unfortunately missing on the... was it too heavy that Maunuri pulled off there? With the Red Wild Assault? No, we don't want any buts or if. We want this corner and this wall right now. Look at these resources though. Beni is completely loaded, and Beni is one of those characters who are not afraid of using their resources for defense. Nice interruption there with the fast buttons. Now Beni bringing it to the corner. Do we have a corner? Oh, that's actually even better than perhaps getting the wall break. Got a wall stick a little too high there, so maybe unable to get the Bunky Messai out. Ooh, DP punished by DP. However, that's a very small punish. DP RC burst. They're throwing every defensive resource. And Maunuri, out of all people, dashing forward, meeting the same stuff from Beni. Air dash DP. You shall not press any buttons. You will block. It's kind of like a somebody is gonna die today kind of a situation. Now the pressure from Maunuri. Electricity on. The air movement coming down the jump slash. Baits the DP and this time getting the optimal punish. It is the counter hit into the heavy fireball. Now quick 1-2 into RTL, the Kiss family special. However, if you go for it a little too too early, it might not do maximum amount of damage either. But Maunuri responds with a quick one of their own. Slowly looking like we are getting warmed up. I think I saw some conversations earlier about both players being on, you know, relatively shaky internets, as we call in the countryside type of. Look at that whip punish though. The dash 5k, that is Chip Zaneth at his best. The dash Foudre arc will be landed on block. However, Chip, one of those characters who has such fast buttons, won't have any problems challenging afterwards, especially if the electricity is not on. Dancing backwards with that backstep. Baiting the DP and getting the round. Hunting for the whiff punish there. 5-heavy whiff from Chip. Missing it. Maunuri. Beni putting themselves into the corner. Maunuri having a big opportunity to deal lots of damage. That's definitely a lot of damage. 60% and electricity applied here. Foudre arc. Also plus frames here. Even though that ended up just kissing Beni just lightly, I think it's still wildly in Kai's favor in terms of frame advantage. You can go with the Red Wild Assault. RC is that's not gonna be enough, right? Even with the DP, big damage. Chip Zaneth does have pretty decent amount of guts as well. Clashing! Wait, Beni didn't clash cancel. Wait, what's the window actually to clash cancel? I think you have to clash cancel very early and or surely shortly after the clash happens. So if you delay it too much, then even if you try to FD, you won't be able to make it come out anymore. And since Beni just completely committed to all of those slices, damn, very interesting RPS. Alright, but one more from Maunuri here. But you can bet your ass this is only the beginning. These players have decent amount of experience when it comes to fighting one another.
Duel 1.
And you can already see the Yomi layers coming from the player matchup. There's a lot of interesting RPS has been happening. Far Slash prevents the Alpha Blade. Fast RC out of the jump 2k. Ends up tacking Maunuri out of the sky, switching sides as well. One more touch, could be a wall break, and we have the strategical 50 meter as well, which Beni does spend on the Rekka 3 overhead pressure extension. Such a classic tool from chip players. Whenever you have 50 meter ready to go, just let it rip, just like that. It is combined benefit, two flies with one swap. Not only is it kind of like a is an overhead mix-up with, you know, Rekka 2. If you unleash it from Rekka 1, it's also a frame trap, but it is also a pressure reset that they're gonna have to take a mix-up afterwards if they, you know, take the RC. Very nice movement. Look at that backstep, completely whipping, making the food drag from Maunuri whip. With conversion, doesn't want to fuck around with any of this conversion, just taking the wall immediately from the air-to-air conversion. Food Arc is gonna trade favorably for Maunuri here. I'm actually surprised that ended up trading. That was 2S from Chip, was it? I thought that Food Arc would just completely low crush that. But I mean, it could have been the width cancel too heavy starting up as well, perhaps, who knows? Alright, 5p on the landing. And mounting some pressure afterwards, even without a big combo. Oh, that's a big mistake though. Maunuri wasn't quite ready to punish cleanly. Electricity applied, lots of plus frames. We got them thrown. Oh, nice cross up into, fakes the landing and lands the latest possible jump D, holding Kai's momentum in the air, making it very tricky there. Maunuri with third win under their belt. Heading into a much more comfortable position now. Good air-to-air, that's gonna be a big amount of damage. Beni has probably seen that combo over and over again and knows that's gonna be wall break as well as almost half of my life. Alright, good 2K, 2D mash into very standard Oki setup. Late half, oh nice, we'll be able to get a DP in there. That was a fast RC as well, and I think RCs in Guilty as Strive still have that that feature of being able to delete your opponent's inputs to a certain extent. So it's always very amazing when players are able to get their reversal options out in situations like that. Did Beni hit a button? No. Safe here. Taking a quick 2K, 2D punish. Don't need anything very fancy there, especially since Maunuri was on their last pixel. Very classic round start. Or walk back a couple of pixels and then pounce forward 2K, 2D. Very classic way of playing Chip Sanif. Finds the Rekka, low, yeah. It's that's why we were talking about how it's a mix-up. You don't necessarily have to go from Rekka 1, Rekka 2, and Rekka 3. You can also go from the initial Resho into the overhead Rekka, skipping the low parts. And another really great feature for Chip is that you have a pretty free control when you want to cancel into the next sequence. So there's a timing RPS, and then there's a RPS between what is the next Rekka of the sequence, or is there gonna be any at all? Alright, Beni not yielding too soon. We're still on the chase. Only one game of lead here for Maunuri.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
Players attempting to find the whiff punishes. As I said earlier, very fundamentals-based matchup. With, of course, a little bit of a pinch of aggression here from our players. I think Beni has definitely the sort of tools to making players play their game in a way. Very aggressive in their RPS options again. Gets the YRC bait here. This should be the kill. Monkey Messiah, not the hardest hitting super. Like I said, will never kill here. Damn. Chip with the low damage, huh? I told you. Chip never kills. Low damage character, am I right? Alright, 2K 2D on the landing frames there. Tried to 6p under there, however. The S-Fireball still active on... Ooh, jump heavy going active just fast enough to be able to win that air-to-air sequence. Here comes Maunuri though. The 5D. Setting up a new heavy fireball. There's a lot of sparks flying, and now the mix-up. But that's an option select, I believe. Into the empty low, standing 5K. If you try to backdash out of that, Kai still has, considerable amount of frame advantage. Will be able to do various things there to catch you. Alright, the 2K2D is the name of the game. reach the DP. However, since Beni did have 50 meter ready to go, will be able to maintain this corner pressure. Now Maunuri, very important choices. Getting wall broken, but at least not wall broken without a hard knockdown. Or with a hard knockdown, rather. The tap 5D. Is Beni gonna go for it? They still have a buffer here, waiting till it's safe. I like that. It's much more likely that the hard burst baits are gonna come out like at the very start of the combos. Usually, like, I think normal human reaction times is to burst after like the first or the second hit, which kind of leads players to often, you know, go for their hard baits at around like second or third-ish hit, depending on what your counterplay of choice is. So if you delay your bursting slightly more than that, it's way harder for your opponent to sort of guess where you want to burst after that. Because, I mean, technically you have the whole combo to decide when you want to go for it. It's just that, you know, low damage, or rather low health characters such as Chip don't necessarily have as much agency with, you know, when they burst, because you're by definition taking so much more damage than any other character in the game. So you kind of have to go for your burst a little earlier, but the burst won't be available here. Maunuri, though, misses their combo. Trying for a very fancy one, I presume. Right out of the corner, and the two heavy counter hit once again. The combo that Maunuri has been using for DP punish as well. Hits from Stun Dipper not connecting properly, so Maunuri having to spend the PRC to save themselves. But here comes Beni. Accidental cross up, but we got more where that came from. If you make, oh, the air DP again! Not the cleanest conversion. It's just a little jump slash slice there. Oh my goodness. And this should be enough for Beni to S2 heavy into a wall slump. Whew, heading into the mid game here. Both players fighting for that advantageous position here. Who gets to go to 4 points first? Beni advancing, Maunuri holding their momentum in the air by using that jump D. Uh-oh, but here comes the punish, and we have the 50 ready to go as well. Bunky Messai is inbound. Oh yeah, but I think Beni really does love to use the Wild Assault hard knockdown in this position though. Sees the active frames and deems that the DP is an option. However, this would be a big comeback to make for Maunuri. Is he able to make it? Here comes the throw. Creeping ever so closer. That critical health, that's such a smart choice from Maunuri. And I just want to let Beni to go back to neutral for free. Gold burst whips, and at that distance, it's definitely gonna be a punish for a fast character like Chip Zanev. So we were talking earlier how difficult it is to punish the current version Gold Burst on block. However, if it whiffs, it's you kind of punish it just like any other burst, or even more easily, because it's technically Gold Bursts are our previous version bursts in a sense that they don't reach full screen. So there is no block stun whatsoever applied to the opponent, and they can just, you know, with the active frames, dash in there and get the punish of their choice. Frame trap, 5k, 6k, 5k into 6k. Now Maunuri. What player's looking for some kind of an advantage here? Maunuri would love to get the electricity on before. Oh my god, the spacing there. Did that DP actually? I think that whiffed on a Chip 5k, which does make sense because, you know, Kai's DP not the most horizontal DP out there for sure. More of a vertical DP. Like a standard vertical DP. Here we go, into conversion. This will surely get the hard knockdown, or the wall slump, but not the hard knockdown. Ooh, but that's a big hit. Immediately into RTL, another hard knockdown. One more to guess for your life. Beni is sitting on a life lead here, or rather a round lead though. So they don't necessarily have to reach for the burst cookie chart just yet. Players attempting a whiff punish there. Swinging miss, jump heavy though. A very potent starter for Chip. Tries to double it up into a leaf grab. Maunuri is out of there to 2B to prevent the alpha play from going active. Jumping over the fireball. It's really great that Beni sort of doesn't just go into a normal jump in after jumping over the heavy fireball, because that would certainly be a mistake. That's kind of what Kai players want you to do. The goal burst. You have that positive bonus active here, but would love to make the opponent block something to make use of that. Of RC. Dropping it in the midpoint, jump kick into a conversion. That was so great, and Maunuri is gonna get the round with that, evening it out. 4 wins apiece here.
Kai wins.
My goodness. Keeping it even, keeping it tight.
Mankind knew that they... Duel 1.
It's usually around this point that if one player is the runaway with the lead, should happen soon. But the other side of the coin is the other type of storylines is when we go down to the wire until the double Luigi last game. Oh, nice jump PP. However, jumpies don't tend to convert too, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Too big. Gildiger Strive. The DP bait here. Oh, I think that's gonna work out and knock Maunuri out of that RTL, so big value from that blue burst for Beni. Drops the combo before the wall break, and that sort of secures, because I think since Beni didn't have the resources to break the wall with a hard knockdown, it was way smarter to let the combo drop and let Maunuri just fall into the corner pressure position. You still, you still have your knockdown and you still have your pressure. Nice, perfect spacing, 2K. Catching the landing frames out of the food arc there. Wire C, get off me. Beni unfortunately not holding down back there, so getting blue beated or gray beated or black beated or whatever you want to call it in this version of Guilty Gear. Now, close slash. However, backdashing out of that close slash doesn't really get you out of the woods. If the opponent is vigilant, I think most characters in the game should have frame advantage on their close slash afterwards, even if it doesn't tag you out of your backdash. Right, frame trap. Ooh, dials into the overhead Rekka. However, I think that's not a situation that you can punish, really. And in fact, that's one of the situations where yours truly presses a button very often as well and gets baited. I think, in fact, I saw that set up yesterday from Beni, in fact. Lots of meter for Beni. He's gonna burn it here, especially since Maunuri has nothing to say about that. 2B calls out the Genrozan, and now tables, are they turning? Perhaps. But the fact of the matter is, Beni is gonna go back to neutral without a hard knockdown. So this is still slight chip advantage, but for how long? Drifting forward with that FRC. The jump 2K is once again the tool to get Beni out of the corner. Such a tricky tool to use as well. Beni really likes the sort of the neutral jump. And then I think there's like a forward jump momentum and then quick into a jump 2K, which kind of mixes up which side it's gonna land on. And often enough, if the opponent committed on you and advanced on you, they're gonna end up on the quotation wrong side of things and gonna be vacuumed into the corner by that jump 2K. Right, conversion into RTL. It was actually an OTG. I thought that would still catch. But now let me show you the real wall break here. Here comes Beni with a hard knockdown and the positive bonus. That was such an important interruption there for Maunuri. If Beni gets to press one more button, there's gonna be so many RCs coming out in the near future. But I mean, there's gonna be so much stuff coming out here as well. A jumpy one too many, so won't be able to get the kill here. And we've punished with the 5 heavy for Maunuri. Still a chance. However, Chip is so tricky with that massive amount of meter. Once you make the opponent block something, it's, Rekka mix up and then followed up by another RC, and here we go again. Oh, interesting. Had a little bit of an oopsie there. So won't be able to have the hard knockdown. 6B whips a miss. Whips a miss? Swings a miss? Are all whips misses? That's the philosophical question of the day here on Bounty Hunters. Blue RC not close enough to slow down Benny's frames. Here comes the throw. No OTG available. One more hit would be it. Making Maunuri block anything would be it. Probably as well that 2D. Man, the many strong tools that Chip has at neutral. Dash into 2K, 5K, 2D, 2S. You name it. So many different good buttons. Plus the standing buttons as well. This character has a very wide repertoire of all sorts of really nice neutral tools for playing footsies with. And we're moving, getting there. With the dash speed, 2K prevents Maunuri's fireball from going off. Ooh, missed an air throw there. Maunuri, although initially respecting there. The punish there on the stun dipper. Here comes Benny, has the meter as well. Luckily, Benny not spending the burst, or rather not spending the, well, I guess not spending the burst or the tension before Maunuri's burst comes out. Oh, wait a second. Was that a whip on an air throw, or did Benny just go for a very, like a super jump strike? Either way, it is going to be Benny on the set point for the first time here. And Maunuri not too far behind, but decently so. 2D frame trap once again, and a big conversion as well into the hard knockdown. Everything seems to be going as planned for Benny. Close slash, start the pressure. Trying to delay too much and getting, as a result, defeat by Maunuri. Spending a lot of resources to get their own tension bonus going. Oh, we'll be able to see that, and the counter poke will put Maunuri back on the ground. No RC there. Oh, never mind. Very late one. Was probably predicting that Benny would be trying to dash forward. And that would be very hard to react to, if not impossible. RC, and if not, to the other side, go burst. Maunuri's gonna have a lot of building blocks here to use. What kind of Lego are we building? Bar slash catches the backdash. This time clean one. Burst coming out. That's gonna be really good for Benny. All that 50 meter lost for Maunuri. And now Benny looking for that one more hit. Technically Maunuri as well. Oh, look at that. The Tims catching just barely. I think Benny was trying to extend themselves into that food arc. Oh, that's a big one. I think the only problem here is the wall damage. We'll be able to get the TK RTL as well for the hard knockdown. Looking good for Maunuri. Looking to stay alive here. And a big close slash. Yeah, that's gonna be a wrap, right? Right? Yes, indeed. Maunuri moves to 5-6 position. Definitely not done yet. But we'll need 2 more games to triumph over Benny here. Are we gonna have a last minute recovery, last minute comeback?
Duel 1.
Benny needs 1, Maunuri needs 2. They've been going back and forth here, especially in terms of the match, contents. Lots of wild choices, lots of standard choices, every kind of play. Yeah, here come the wild choices. Speaking of, overhead RC, you're still taking a mix-up, getting hit on the way down. Oh, and from the other side. Those alpha plates are so tricky and able to deliver small cross-up damage situations. Speaking of small damage, oh, tries to double it up with a Genrozan, but once again, Maunuri ready to jump out and or mash. I think, has Benny been able to make that reset work even once during the set? Maunuri has just been so active getting out of those throws. Overhead 6K into a quick conversion. We'll be able to get a wall break out of that. That's a 6K at a very opportune moment. Finds the DP. Yeah, there's the 6 people we were talking about so long on the recovery. And here comes Maunuri with the red. Oh, wait. Hello? How did that whiff? 5B, 5B. Staircase, then back onto the crown. Then he has so much meter, deflect shield. That was. I agree with that. I mean, you're gonna lose your ability to use red wild assault, but since Benny still had at least 50 meter ready to go, you would have gone to the corner and potentially lost if you don't use that deflect shield there. No anti-air attempts there. And 1-2 RTL. Benny won't be able to get the burst out this time. He doesn't break the wall. Gisk boys in shambles. Should have picked the Sin Kind. And here comes Benny and steals it away. Oh my goodness. Often enough, damn, what was... usually at that spacing, the RTL does break the wall. But perhaps there... I don't know if it's the starter or something else. The most Kai thing ever coming out. Maunuri trying to dash full screen into a throw. But Benny not allowing it. Set point Benny still. Jump 2K. Ooh, good trade for Maunuri here. 5K anti-air? Are you fucking shitting me? That button is illegal. Now let's see the punish here from Benny. Are we jumping over? No, just going for the close slash. Spending the wild assault. Going into the other wall. Won't be able to get a kill here. But Maunuri, basically one mistake. Take anything here. Miss what? Misses a 5D Maunuri. Was that a bait? And then the DP? This man. Absolute mad lad, but the deed is not done yet. Look at these resources. Everything is available for Benny. Catches them from an airborne position. Has to spend the burst immediately. Straight forward and a 2K Maunuri. How did he make that work with a 5D from full screen? Benny was very far away trying to whiff punish, and then Maunuri following it up with a DP. Are you kidding me? What is that? It is the nuttiest sequence I've ever seen. Nuttiest bait I've ever seen. And now it has come to this. We got our run back. Maunuri has run it to 6-6. Who's gonna get the last one? DP for a DP, eye for an eye has been one of the reigning themes of this set so far. And then the baits following them. The cool thing about it is, like, if this was a low-level set, we would see constant DPing back and forth, but no baits whatsoever. But because this is a high-level set, you will, of course, we will see a lot of DPs, but we also see a lot of DP baits. No one without the other. Backdash gets Maunuri initially out of that close slash, but once again, Benny enters the set point position first. Relatively equal amount of burst here. Moving into the potentially last round here. Tries the Patriarch again. Benny has been backdashing those quite a bit and getting caught, but not this time. It's actually a big RPS win if you manage to respect that Patriarch, and especially if you block it standing, you will end up plus frames without the electricity. Now hard knockdown. Last one. What is it? Is it gonna be a cross-up? Just goes for the most classic DPRC. Is gonna be the call-out against safe jumps as well as any kind of other shenanigans. However, missing their meaty there. And Benny showing no mercy, taking the set as soon as they have an opportunity. What a back and forth set. An absolute nail-biter. From your friendly neighborhood Finnish region. Man, that's a good one. It's such a great great opportunity to see Maunuri for the first time in such a long while as well. We're definitely gonna see him in the future as well, both in online events, but especially in offline events. When is whatchamacallit? When's the next big offline coming up in Finland? I think it's gonna be one of the assembly tournaments, probably sometime soon. I mean, the main assembly is gonna be during the summer holidays, so it shouldn't be too many months left, right? I'm of course talking out of my ass, but we're moving on to the next one. We got Meadow and Mox. So for both of these sites, a little bit of something new. Meadow, of course, the third time we see Meadow piloting Abba since the transition from... Wait, was Meadow a Baiken or a Bridget players? I think Baiken and Bridget players are kind of melding together in my head. Oh my god, I'm so stupid. Let me check. Yeah, Meadow used to be a Bridget player, right? I mean, honestly, we've had so many Bridgets and so many Baikens and so many Bridget versus Baiken matchups as well on Bounty Hunters as of late. It's kind of hard to keep track of all of it. But in terms of Mox, this will be Mox making their so-called debut match here on Bounty Hunters. Another Baiken player. Yeah, it's lots of firepower going into this one. Of course, you know, Abba being one of the most polarizing characters in the game, both in terms of, you know, damage output, but also in mobility and how you choose to tackle the neutral game. Because, like, of course, if you are in Jealous Rage, you can just take a couple of frames, dash from side to side, use one of your completely disjointed moves, and there's very little that the opponent can do about it. But the thing is, you will have to fight for that Jealousy Rage mode. Generally, you would like to get a hard knockdown of some sort, and then activate the Jealous Rage through the key grab or the manual activation after a Rekka knockdown. But you do have an option to go into a raw install as well if your opponent gives you space enough to breathe. Right, here we go. Of course, Abba always starts in the normal mode, which is extremely... Oh, there we go, straight into the manual activation that we were talking about earlier. Bar slash, look at those disjoints. However, it's so important to close out your combos, especially in Jealous Rage mode. Not necessarily for the Oki opportunities, but in case of Abba, Abba cares the most about maintaining her unique resource, which is the Jealousy Gauge. Generally, when you look to deactivate the mode, you're looking to get half of what you spent back if you exit the mode by key grab or the manual deactivation. If it runs out naturally, you're gonna lose all of those resources that you just spent, and it's generally the most horrible kind of situation that you could ever be as Abba. Abba, decently good on defense. You not only have a 4-frame button to mash, but also you have one of the best 2Ks in Guilty Gear Strive. Oh, is that gonna parry? That's gonna actually parry the shot and build decent amount of Jealousy Rage gauge back for Meadow. Meadow, of course, going for the burst here. Doesn't want to get the jelly spent, or doesn't want the jelly to drain out during the potential combo string that Mox could have pulled off here. Ah, but the second hit of the heavy Kabari follow-up. There we go, going straight into the round start tilt. The tilt has a like, you know, we'll be able to sort of hop over a lot of even like high-profile folks, even some of the far slashes in Guilty Gear Strive. Lots of great low crushing potential. Oh, let's see what Mox does here. Jump back, and now we are in that very desperate situation for Meadow where, oh, never mind. Get a quick 1, 2, 3 in. And as long as you make the opponent block something as Abba, you are going to be building back that key gauge. You, of course, need to get over that 1/4 of a threshold. If you can see at the like right side of the Jealousy Rage gauge, you at least have to have that much to manually activate or go into the Jealousy mode. Punish here. Get the Rekka knockdown. Use tilt as a way to inch yourself ever so closer, and then the OTG. You see a lot of sequences like this from ABBA players where if you are in normal mode, you kind of just can't dash at the opponent after a hard knockdown, because ABBA's dash is just so slow that you oftentimes just don't get there in time. So you can use the tilt as a, just like that, as a makeshift command dash of sorts to close the distance. A good block on the Yozan from the other side. I get the hard knockdown. Let's see if we have the deactivation here. Danzai into a key grab, and look at how much they're gonna build back. Basically, whenever you get a manual or some kind of deactivation on your jealousy rage, you basically get exactly half of your jelly back that you just spent. I think having the oh, never mind. I was about to say having the best backdash in the game in jealousy mode should be able to recover out of that before the super goes active, but no, not this time. And look at this, because the jealous rage ended up expiring naturally. Meadow is gonna lose all of that jelly. Right. Alright, plus frames out of the tatami into a throw. And the throw is basically what enables you to have your best mix-up as ABBA. Good block of the Yozan once again. The RC should be enough, yes indeed. Both players opening it up. 1-1. Meadow takes one, Mox takes one. Slowly feeling each other's... Slowly feeling each other's, whatchamacall It's kind of an Ubu statement if I can't recall the word I was about to say. Each other's habits. Little by little. He's turning sexual very fast. Small kiss on the DK Yozan, minus frames, but the parry is always an option whenever you're not completely punishable. Tilt once again, goes up the distance. The last Rekka, the Rekka 2 is actually a low there. So if you stand up to block, or try to jump out of it prematurely, actually get caught. Yeah, very nice conversion. Once again, Mox closing it out with that RC, just like the previous game. What was that? That was a TK Yozan round start versus something from Meadow. The jelly slowly running out. We got the deactivation, nice! Saving that 1/4, that ever so important 1/4 of jealousy. And now through the wall, using the key grab, we'll build 25 extra. And we are ready to rock right from the get-go. Bar slash from Baiken. Surely a food of some kind. Ooh, did we press a button? Nope. The Jealousy Rage Super does allow Meadow to deactivate safely. So plus frames from the Escabari. Basically, you kind of have to try to escape it or press buttons if you want to prevent that that situation from looping from Baiken. Here we go. Heavy Kabari, follow up, RC, and now pushing Meadow towards the corner. Not quite getting the kill, but is a fairly tough girl after all, considered basically a heavy, what do they call it? Heavy, not heavyweight, big body character. That's the one I was looking for. Right, Mox grabbing the lead here, 2-1. Oh, so what you guys are trying to say that if you use the manual deactivation command, you get health back. But if you deactivate the state with a key grab, then you don't get health back. It will always default to 25. Is what I'm decoding here. That makes sense. That makes sense. Actually didn't know that. So that's definitely a big difference. Ooh, but here we go with a parry anti-air. Meadow answering in kind. Don't you try to reversal me, I will reversal you! Right, once again, this conundrum. How are we getting close to the opponent? Ooh, misses the throw there. That's critical. We'll give Meadow basically a full jealousy rage. Nice bait there on the parry. Getting out of the corner. Drive by Yozan. YRC, get off me. It's like we said earlier. It's super important that when you have your jealousy rage rolling, for you to, you know, save at least 50 meters to go YRC or full burst to sort of get out of that situation fast, because you never want to be in the opponent's pressure string while your jelly is running. Ooh, and a quick reversal is gonna put Meadow into the mode. Deflect shield, not too bad. Oh, but the four-framer! The four-framer 2P coming through and taking the game for Meadow. Damn. Yeah, regardless of, you know, if you're in jealousy rage or not, that fast button is going to be available to you.
Mankind knew that they cannot change society.
It's an interesting situation with Abba. Sometimes in some matchups she might actually be fairly okay defending the pressure from the opponent due to how good her defensive methods are at that range. Right, gets a manual deactivation. Still stays over the initial threshold. But here comes Mox. Make them block. DK Yozan. Good block on the overhead by Meadow. Ooh, sees Meadow in the middle of that dash. Getting the throw punish, and now from the front, YRC, get off me. Tries to throw, but there is nobody home. Mox once again, TK Yozan, that instant overhead into an RC. Such a good tool when you have the 50 meter ready to be spent. Especially from that safe jump tatami situation. There's just not much your opponent can do there after they block it. They're just gonna have to guess high or low. Very classic way of conducting yourself in anime fighting games. Nice key drag forward, was able to go under Mox's poke. And then with full jealousy, hard knockdown. This is a really good situation for Meadow. Goes into an empty throw. My goodness, how often would you think that Abba is gonna play that option? You have all sorts of nasty shenanigans. F-shiki, you have cross-ups, you have, you know, strike throw, you have, not strike throw, but you have all sorts of nasty things, but then you see the most unassuming option, the empty throw, which not only is, you know, just a throw, but it ends up spending a lot of time, or wasting a lot of time in Jealous Rage mode. There we go, should be a kill, the cash out super. I mean, Mox is very low here, but in case she wasn't, this would have done pretty hefty amount of damage. When you are in Jealous Rage, going for the reversal super basically empties all the rest of your Jealous Rage gauge. And I think it's like increments of... Is it increments of like 20% or 25? Something like that. And every increment causes the super to do just a little bit more damage. And you can imagine how much damage that does on a full jealousy. Be nice deactivation there by Meadow. The opponent was airborne. It's frames from the Escabari. There we go with a punt. Was that a punish? No, I don't think so. Still in normal mode. That was a very nice prediction from Mox. Like we were talking about, if your opponent gives you time to breathe, you can definitely go into the manual install. But Mox kind of sniffing that out and was able to bump Meadow out of that activation. I think the better thing would have been if Meadow actually went into the mode, and then Mox would have been able to sort of keep her in that state while doing the combo. But hey, I mean, we take what we can get against this beast. RC into the corner, manual deactivation, nice anti-air with the 2S! Mox opting to burst out, jump slash hits, and this will be A jelly pop here. Escapade. Nothing that you can do to, you know, prevent that. Basically, when you pop out of your jealousy, you will go into a 10 frame of guarantee. Ooh, nice reversal here. This will put Meadow back into the mode, but with very limited amount of resources out of it. Let's see if we get a whatchamacallit, the low jealousy activation here. Attempts the super. Yeah, but Mox was respecting, perhaps even thinking about that option. Nice whiff punish there against the standing P from Meadow. And leading into a successful combo. Mox once again. Another bear that is going basically neck to neck. 3 games each.
Duel 1.
Once again, it is the parry round start for Meadow. It has been working out for the most part, even on those wall break situations where it ended up deflecting the gun super ones. Right now, yeah, that was super important that Meadow gets some sort of an abare out there. However, ending up in block string again, and look at all that jelly just running out. Goes for a very daredevil gamble it all, kind of the activation in front of Mox, but kind of had to as well, because I think you, as an ABBA player, you would pay probably half your life rather than go into absolute zero jelly, which is, speaking of which, gonna be what Meadow will have to go here. Slack beat low, not respecting the plus frames out of that wire C, and a 2P is the defensive option once again. 4 framers, they are strong. Generally speaking, we every character in the game has some sort of 5 framer, at the very least. Ooh, big 5 heavy, and the conversion as well. And with the full jelly gauge, finds the tilt. The tilt is a little different in Jealousy Rage, where it transforms into an actual overhead. That's a mix-up tool like that, but Mox standing up and blocks it. The big reward for the defender is that if you manage to block the Jealousy Rage tilt, which is technically, like, you're not gonna see that, you're not gonna never you're gonna react to that. But if you manage to stand up in time, it is actually -2 on block. So you might be able to test your luck at, you know, getting an interruption there on ABBA during a Jealousy Rage. And then of course, if you make ABBA block basically anything while Jelly is active, you would probably spend all of your burst, all of your tension in order to just lock ABBA in that block string as long as possible in order to make her pop. Slowly tracking forward. Nice timing on the kapari there by Mox. Technically speaking, ABBA is the only character. Oh, look at that close slash from the other side, immediately prompting Mox to burst. But here we go with the big damaging conversions. These are ABBA. Annual deactivation gets to box. Mox still in the court. What? On her own offense, goes for the reversal super and activates. That triggers the hard knockdown as well. Big reads, but however, here comes Mox with big sequences of their own. We'll be able to make Meadow pop once again. We go for the burst, but now problem, we don't have any jealousy left to spend. And during the normal mode, that super just not quite as good, doesn't reach as high, and doesn't cause as much block stun either. Now Meadow will have to potentially go to the last round of this game without any burst resources. Luckily, we are on Season 3 of Guilty Gear Strive, so getting wall broken will build you quite a lot of burst back, which we might. Ooh, missing put there on the TK Yozan. Got a TK jump slash instead. Still, Mox able to maintain the pressure into a hard knockdown. Block this. I was hoping to probably get that deflect shield out as a reversal option, which would have pushed Mox away from the high-low distance, but the timing just wasn't quite right. And I think as a result, it would have deflect shielded the... Wait a second, how does that work? Now that I think about it, why didn't that actually work? Did the deflect shield connect on Tatami instead? It's a little perplexing for me. Anyway, good deflect shield here for Mox. It's especially one of those tools that you want to think about against Abba in jealousy mode because, you know, Abba has really good high-low, and if you deflect shield, it will basically take care of both high-lows. You know what else takes care of high-lows? The reversal parry from this character Abba here. And now that I say that out loud, that's probably one of the reasons why Meadow has been going so actively for those throws. Because if the opponent tries to RPS with their reversal parry or the deflect shield, that is the one option that will immediately take care of those. Now we'll be able to force a pop here. RC, unfortunately, because of the pop actually working in Meadow's favor in this situation, was able to see that the overhead was indeed coming. And even though it puts you in 10 frames of guaranteed, you know, state where you can't do anything but block, it will be able to stop the time and sort of check you where your opponent is going. Forward dash into a throw. Gets the manual deactivation there just before the pop. And now Meadow still has a very good fighting chance. Activate from full screen. Mox was backdashing, so the time is now. 5B into a conversion. Meadow swinging it in her favor once again. 5-4. Could still be anybody's game as we're slowly heading into the end game here. Big opportunity this next game. Meadow, if they take it, they go into a 6-4 situation and have a massive advantage to take this set. But Mox could also have a chance to just even it out here. Now using that command dash to its full extent, going under basically everything that Mox was trying to throw at Meadow there. Aggressive burst, the tilt. A little too slow there. I think Mox already recovered and went into the recovery of the parry there. What's it gonna be? Into a throw. Meadow in a little bit of a pinch here. Lands on the other side and fully charges a 5D. Alright, alright. And with the tether gets even a cool little combo there. Dash in into a parry on your own, Oki. Mox was feeling herself with that round for sure. There was a lot of swag stuff there. Right, into the BMB combo. Doesn't want to get put into the corner. Getting a parry. So the parry doesn't exactly give you like huge defensive benefits per se for Abba. The biggest the biggest reward for landing that is that it does build like 25% of your key gauge back. So it puts you in a better position if you then afterwards manage to activate your Jealous Rage. Here we go, the Coppery Heavy! Actually anti-airs out of all buttons! Really? That's a Jealous Rage Abba we're talking about, and her air buttons are not a small deal either. I guess that was just the perfect distance there, and the disjoint was what was able to make Mox, you know, work with that anti-air. Right, now the pressure, tilt overhead, 5K conversion, dances out. And activating once again. That was a perfect sequence now. Even though this is not a hard knockdown, we'll be able to go to the next screen with full Jealousy active. Yep, and the YRC was kind of destined to come out. Or OTG, yes indeed, dash into a close slash. Good realization from Meadow. I think Meadow was almost as if wanting to give Mox the offensive position so that she could then afterwards YRC and be extremely plus and basically guarantee her jelly pressure afterwards. Right, full Jealousy Gauge once again. Mox goes immediately into the burst. Full trades, yep. Smart, activates from full screen. There won't be much that Mox could have done there, I think, to prevent that from happening. The reversal super is gonna activate with very high jelly. And I think Meadow didn't press a button here, so we'll be able to get a clean block. Plus frames from the Escabari once again. Ooh, that was very, very good for Mox. Mox has had very keen sense on, you know, keeping the pressure alive for a very long time. Especially when she's able to make Meadow block something during jelly. Plus frames with the key crab. Ooh, perhaps predicting the back jump and activates in Mox's face. TK Yozan overhead. Yeah, waste as much time as you can. That jelly is slowly running out. Burst for a manual activation. Barely in the nick of time gets it. We'll be able to activate out of this. Doesn't do so though. Abiding her time. Meadow is a little low on the defensive resources though. Trade not quite in Meadow's favor. 2K does hit and the tilt. Bar slash, such a stuffy button. Very important for Abba's pressure. Is that a win punish? Yes, indeed. And now we got the activation jumping out of this tilt. 2K, 2D, Rekka. We're committing into it. The YRC, that was actually a good YRC. Basically forcing a pop here for Meadow. And Mox moving on to the driver's seat. I feel like I can't even remember the storyline coming here. It was first Mox, then Meadow, then Mox, then Meadow, and now it's Mox again. Reaching the 6 points first. God, that was a really good YRC. I think Mox has been making very early bursts against the Jealous Gauge offense, which kind of like, if you burst while Meadow is super high on jelly, that means that you don't completely deal with it, so to say. But if you burst or YRC at the very end, you can often force your opponent to pop without any hope of getting some sort of a save. All right, jump over, and we're ready to go. There was quite a few different ways of ending that round. Was basically full on jealousy, punish from the other side, all meter. Could have just literally slammed a reversal super in Mox's face, and the amount of jealousy that it would have burned would have taken care of it. Alright, tilt to move closer. However, Mox getting an opportunity to jump out. Deflect shield. Not a very good timing there. TK Yozan and Meadow doesn't really have any way to get out of this. However, the blue RC comes out too late, even though Mox was still able to get the round and procure the set point position. That 50 burst that they spent at the end there is a 50 burst that they could have used on this round. Now Meadow has to persevere, has to get this round if they want to still keep on playing. Nice combo into the activation and then the wall break and the kill grab. Yes, indeed, good routing. 60% damage and 75 key gauge ready to go. Let's see, won't be able to mount an anti-air here, Mox. Oh, there we go with a slingshot. Mox with an immediate burst out of that though. Bar slash, yes, I got way more disjoint than you. OTG, close slash. Meadow needs one more to stay alive. Gold burst. Will force a pop here. Now Meadow has a lot of resources, RC, perhaps baiting the YRC. Here comes the YRC. But the super is slow enough to not get caught by the reversal parry. That was a very peculiar situation. I thought for a moment that reversal super would have actually been parried, but no. 7 active frames. 7 active frames is at the same time quite a lot, but still it could be more for the reversal parry of Vikings. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen, and all the attack helicopters in the chat. This will be the last one. 6-6. The winner of this goes home with the, I guess, bragging rights. Reversal super, activating jealousy here. Sees the throw whip. We'll be able to get a small punish on it. I think the bigger reward here is the pop that Mox was able to force from Meadow. Tilting forward. We technically have the lowest threshold achieved. Keep drag under that high-profile poke from Mox. It feels so bad though if you activate your Jealous Rage here with only 25. I mean, with that Rekka, we'll be able to be at 50. Now the Jealousy Rage activation seems much more of a better prospect. Too bad that Mox was able to predict that forward-moving trajectory. Now Mox, set point, burst. Ooh, nice, goes under the Kabari. Tried to throw. The big counter hit. Meadow should still be sitting fairly okay. 50 burst, 50 tension, and a very decent amount of life. As well as, most importantly, the Jealous Gauge to spend. Nice manual deactivation, gets half of it back. Ooh, big 5 heavy into a tilt, into a full combo. This is really nice. Now again, Mox is able to get a reversal jump out. Mox has been very active with those. Misses the finishing combo. This is gonna hit, right? No, but will force Mox basically into a situation where they have to block. Meadow is whipping! And that 5 heavy whips for so many frames. A really nice instant air dash read from Mox. Getting the win on her debut set on Bounty Hunters. This will be 2 out of 2 players who got, you know, their first wins today. But another just back-to-back set. Whew. All right, moving on. If the Baiken and the Bridget games that we got so far weren't enough, we got more on the horizon. Cass and Luka clashing next. In that one matchup that we basically have called the most frequently occurring matchup in, or rather on Bounty Hunters. Actually, we'll have to go into the data sheet and check if that's actually true. But if we're strictly talking about Season 3 matches, this should be the one. All right, and here we go into the 4th matchup of the week. Cass Baiken versus Luka Bridget. This is a UK mirror match, right? Yes, indeed. Is it the UK people? I think a lot of UK players tend to also play one of these characters.
Bridget versus Baiken. Duel 1.
Alright, one character very explosive, especially from... Actually, both of these characters are fairly explosive from air-to-air conversions. Bridget is gonna be dominating the ground for the most part, as Baiken will gonna try to find an opening through the zoning, and the pressure strings of Bridget. Bridget's pressure strings actually last for a very long time. We go just a tap 5D, YRC. That's hoping to bring this back perhaps. The tatami mat falling from all sorts of heights. Dash through Yozan, back jump Yozan. Getting a throw here, needs one more. Oh, it's gonna be so close, RC. That should be it, unless I spoke too soon. Literally 1 pixel for both players. Take this chip damage, however, DP crushing with the 2S into another DP. Luka mashed hard enough to get another one out. And it's the one that hits. Alright. We're doing stuff here. Instant air dash over into a Yozan. When we go to tricky things. Nice presence of mind from Cass, blocking that too heavy on the way out. Bridget is a very nice character for, you know, boxing your opponent in the corner. Not only do you have like very far-reaching block strings, oh, but look at that cross-up mix-up, drifting forward and then the Roger dive, landing from the left side instead of the right one. As soon as Luka was able to gather their bearings, a quick second round there to take the first game. Once again, air dash over, Yozan. On the other hand, those have been actually pretty well defended from all of the Bounty Hunters contestants today. Big combo. Ooh, interesting. Ends up whiffing the heavy Kabari follow-up, but still goes into a 2K meaty. It's one of those situations when you're kind of showing your opponent a whiff, but it ends up being a frame kill after all. And the most primal reaction from your opponent is to like, oh, they whiffed something? I guess they must have dropped, so it's my turn, right? But no, it's not. Good 6P through the yo-yo setup. 6P from the side of Luka as well. And we're definitely going into the right corner, or unless the combo drops happen. RC into... Smart hold there on the burst. Could have had a burst there on the FRC, but frankly, you know, you don't want to take those, especially when you're sitting on a round lead as Cass was here. 2K. Not a clean catch there, so won't be able to combo them. Put them in the corner. Next, ooh, missing a 5P, missing a throw. And then even trying to spend the burst as a momentum preserver. But Luka just plummeting, bursting out of the corner with a big combo. Deflect shield is gonna push Luka back into the neutral, but that is perhaps where Bridget players are the most comfortable after all. So not a huge deal. Into an empty low from the other side. Chooses to attach the S-Kabari from a safe distance. Bridget is a DP character after all. So depending on what sort of frame advantage and knockdown you are working with, sometimes it might be the safest bet to just simply use the S-Kabari, set up your potential custom combos, and get a little bit of plus frames. Here we go with the rolling movement. Every time the yo-yo is set up. Oh, that was a really tricky cross-up. Too bad that Luka wasn't able to hit confirm it properly. Switch sides again, add mid-screen. Is that gonna be enough? Yes, indeed. Oh, missing. Oh, okay. Oh, chill. For a moment, I thought that the Rock the Baby was a miss there, but I guess you could use that as a makeshift, like, dash forward after a wall stick. Because whiffing a special move is gonna build a little bit of meter for you, so that could be optimal in some situations. Alright, another momentum burst. Push Luka into the corner. And super is... Oh, the first hit actually ends up whiffing, so not all the damage on the table. But the safe jump heavy. It's allowing Luka from pressing any buttons. The DPRC was available there potentially. But of course, the risk of going into a DPRC is that in the follow-up situation, you're not gonna have that 50 meter ready to be spent for more pressure. Oh, close slash. Was perhaps thinking that Luka already had a burst there and went for a hard bait on the jump cancel. Another even trade. I think these trades at this distance are gonna be in Luka's favor though. Now pausing under the corner with the use of the rolling movement. Skip into a close slash, big one, counter hit, break the wall with the killing machine. And now, dash in into a throw. Definitely makes sense. You can enforce a lot of good RPS here with throw, because Baiken is one of those characters who technically cannot be safe jumped. By definition, that Hiragi, that reversal parry, will basically catch every and any kind of opportunity to meaty. So by mixing either immediately going for a throw or introducing very delayed quotation meaties or delayed strikes, you'll be able to, you know, cash out on those reversal parries. Opting to not go for one, even here, Cass holding on to it for now. Plus frames out of the tatami on the second hit. Catching the Kabari here. Oh, but not able to keep it tight. Was that just too close, or? Alright, jumping over, missing with the Yozan. Good timing on the 6B. Oh, sees it coming. Here's the reversal parry, getting some value. But Luka immediately going for the DP. Nice neutral jump, coming down with a jump slash. Skips a hop out of the corner, very tricky. And now the safe jump. He's gonna work on this Bridget character a little bit more than this Baiken one. Here we go into an airtight overhead. That time Kaz was blocking low. And the 6B working out once again. If there's something really great to be said about Luka, it's the awareness at neutral. Just having the anti-airs ready to go for just about any situation. That's such an important thing to have against Baiken players, because Baiken players, they love using that instant air dash to get things started. Jump slash is a very good button, and the instant air dash from Baiken is a pretty decent instant air dash if we compare other instant air dashes in the game. It moves her very far away, very fast, I think. Case in point, you've seen Cass going for those, you know, instant air dash over Yozans that tend to tag the opponent from the other side. Another testament how, you know, Baiken's instant air dash just moves forward a lot. Alright, minus frames on the Roger dive. And now Cass is gonna have an opportunity to strike into a throw. I mean, I say strike, but we go for a throw here. Here we go with a cool combo to the other side. That was so slick. Not quite the wall stick. But as long as we can go for a meaty, the pressure never ends. And so it goes. Cass with a round lead here. Cass definitely needs something. The momentum has been overwhelmingly in Luka's favor, at least if we look at the score here. Perhaps the score not telling the whole story of this set so far. But it is often said that the stronger players, even though the contents of the match looks kinda even though the life situations and the resource situations tend to be even, it's the stronger players who just somehow magically end up having really good execution at the end of the rounds. But not this time, Cass. Perhaps warming up enough. Perhaps learning enough of Luka's habits, who knows. The fact of the matter is, Cass is on the board now. Ooh, that was meant to be a safe jump, however, Luka able to reversal out of that. Escabari plus frames into, that should be a wall break, it should be a kill as well. Yeah, Baiken, even though we don't necessarily call Baiken a damage character, just look at that good 6B once again. Has Cass been able to get like any jump ins during this set? I think like at least 95% of them have been just, you know, reaction anti-aired by Luka so far. Right, through the wall. What's it gonna be? No heart knockdown, so Cass is ready to air dash forward with a vengeance. Lots of meter on Luka, spends it on YRC. It's the safest option here, because we don't want to take that pressure string from Baiken. You can't go mostly airtight into a high-low after all, so unless you unleash that YRC immediately, you're often gonna have to guess which way the strike is gonna come from. Right, burst for Cass. Look at that, the instant air dash, jump slash from half screen. Massive range, preventing Luka from pressing anything. Luka's rolling movements colliding with the tatami mat. Not here, ooh, but the fast transition straight into the parry. Ooh, nice. Calls out the yo-yo setup from Luka here. Luka very close to a negative penalty. DP forward, that's definitely gonna be able to build at least some amount of tension pulse. And is it gonna be enough with the blue wild assault? Not quite, but it is a hard knockdown. So technically guessing for her life here, Cass. Have to hold the FD. Every single one of these special moves could be chip damage coming in. And here it goes, the yo-yo set in the aggressive kind. It's so tough there. Out of that block string, Luka can kind of choose their spot when they choose to, send that yo-yo forward. And Cass was faced basically with a choice. Am I just gonna keep on holding the FD and spend all my meter within the next 2-3 seconds? And after that, I'm basically defenseless against any special moves. Ooh, nice, the Yozan catching the back dash, so we'll be able to convert it without spending any meter. And here the left right goes front this time into a low 2D. Such a tricky character every single time. Probably one of the best mix-up situations out of any characters in this game. When you manage to land a throw for Baiken. Try to land it again. But Luka, aggressive on defense here, preventing it from going off. Right, out of the corner and into the yo-yo setup. The YRC was probably good meter for meter here for Cass. Not wanting to take the rolling movement mix-up afterwards. And Cass, 2 in a row. The momentum has shifted indeed. But now the question is, can Cass keep up this pressure going forward? Instant air dash whiffs, immediately goes into a gold burst for pretty decent value. Will be able to build around, not really half burst back, but almost so. But the tension is gonna be very useful if Cass gets into a close range pressure. Right, nice air stall and rolling movement outside of that, or out of that gun explosion. Setting up the yo-yo. YRC once again doesn't want to deal with that rolling movement mix-up. Here we go. Probably, is it? I think it's gonna be enough. Loop the loop. Yes, indeed. Low enough to get enough hits out of that super. And then the guaranteed wall break damage is gonna be enough. 6B comes out once again. I think the only, now that I mention it, I think the only jump ins that Cass has been able to land actively in this set are exactly those. Yeah, these! The instant air dash over into Yozan kind. But when the hits come from the front, when Cass is trying to engage with jump slash or moves like that, that's when those have been met with that button 6P. Speaking of the devil, Luka once again. As soon as they see Cass going airborne, the 6P is ready to be unleashed. And Bridget 6P is very nice button as well. I think it has very decent mix of like horizontal as well as vertical reach. Whereas often enough in Guilty Gear, 6Ps tend to have like one of those features, but not both. Unless you have like one of the top tier 6Ps that boast both. Right, Luka now, however, on 6 points. So Cass must be feeling the pressure, especially now. First set point, Luka. It's gonna be do or die throughout the rest of the set. Game after game. No breaks for Cass. Has to spend the burst here in order to not get cornered. So the yo-yo setup is gonna land a hit on the way back. And here into the rolling movement, but this time Cass was ready with the reversal parry. And the combo string, no. He's not going to be able to build the 50 meter, but has the 50 burst to take the heart knockdown with instead into a throw, and that should be it! Perfect read once again, not risking the safe jump. Because Luka knew that the parry is an option. Making it even look like a safe jump, whiffing the button but then landing into a button instead. Good stuff there, clearing the Viking matchup 7-2. Yeah, Luka has been looking really, really great recently. It's like a difference between night and day if you compare Luka how we saw them just like a month or two prior to this. But hey, that's what they say. When you play the game a lot, when you put the effort in, when you put the hours in, generally you tend to get better as well at a rapid pace in what's it called? Well, anyway, next up, we've got the first Sin player coming out today, the first out of 2. We of course got the man, the myth, the legend, Revill, looming on the last matchup, the 7th one of the evening. But before that, we're gonna jump into this one. Elverts Ishnard, one of the French Sin players, is gonna go up against it's always really hard for me to parse L's name. Is it like L? Why is it so difficult? My brain! My foreign brain. Elletraschinas, that's it. That's it, right. Whew. Takes so much brain power to process all of those letters together. Anyway, let me give the players a prompt. Right, so Elverts, of course, has been an avid Sin player for, you know, as long as I can tell. I guess recently has switched from Elfeld to Abba. Such a funny move, Abba jump D. I'm glad Ultimate put that one in there. Ultimate has like the best mug shots for these cards. Even now that I think about it, the screenshots for Elverts, super cool there, that still frame of Sin. So there's been a lot of debate back and forth whether this is whose advantage this matchup is. Fact of the matter is, tilt is kind of tilting sometimes for Sin to deal with. Sin is one of the few characters, I think it's at least Sin and Anji, that Abba can tilt over if timed properly. In addition to that, Sin, you know, BMB pokes, you know, Big Driver, Far Slash have, you know, decent amount of recovery as well. So there's definitely there are decent avenues for Abba to use some of her hard-committing tools, such as, you know, tilt, the command dash, even trying to just get a parry for a little bit of extra value. There's all sorts of ways that you can approach Sin as Abba if you really want to gamble. Although, on the other hand, Sin has very strong space control overall. This is like a character that was tempered in the flames of neutral game. It's really good anti-airs as well, so it's not very easy to approach Sin. Like, if you lose the ground game as Abba, it's certainly not any easier to approach Sin from the air. So I think Elle said that they have a couple of audio issues that they're trying to troubleshoot before we go. So, short intermission here. Sin has pretty good prospects for, you know, if Sin catches Abba during Jealousy Rage, Sin is one of the best characters in the game for generating just long-lasting pressure strings. Instead of having just two resources, the universal ones that every character has, Tension to use, you know, RCs, or Burst to use Wild Assaults, which those two can waste a decent amount of time, but Sin, on top of those, can use his unique resource, that is the Stamina, can choose to use it for Elk Hunt, namely Elk 2, which is very powerful pressure reset. Costs 1 stamina on its own, so it can do it 3 times, or you can spend 2 stamina and just reset back into close range, basically uncontested. So sort of juggling those 3 resources into each other, Sin can create really long block strings, which means that if you ever block Sin while Jealousy Rage is active and you can't YRC or Burst, it's probably reasonable to expect that you're gonna pop and you can't do anything about it either. Sin is also one of the few characters in the game who can actually RPS Abba's, what's it called? Danzai. So Danzai is fully armored throughout both of the hits, but Sin has a very strange peculiarity in his reversal super RTL that you can armor, or you can power through the first hit of the armor, go to the other side, not clash, and the Danzai will still keep just hacking away, whereas Sin can choose to go into one of his follow-up attacks, come back and just, you know, stab Abba in the back. And Abba, you know, unless she has 50 meters to RC out of that as well, there's nothing really you can do about it as soon as RTL collides with Danzai. But that creates, you know, interesting, you know, how much meter do I have, how much meter do you have kind of RPS. Because of course, Sin, to enter the RPS, you have to spend 50. Then the question is, do you have 50 to RC your Danzai? Then Sin can say, all right, I have 50 to cancel my RTL as well. All right, I think we have Elle in the lobby ready to go. And the explosive matchup is just about to get started here. The key to victory here for Sin is gonna be careful neutraling, space control, choosing your buttons for the occasion. It is certainly possible to keep normal mode Abba from ever getting to activate if you're vigilant enough and you choose the right tools for the occasion. And I think it's probably more about how crazy does the Abba player wanna go. Because like we mentioned earlier, there's a lot of stuff that Abba can use to sort of gamble with. But depending on what kind of ABBA your sort of what kind of game plan you have as ABBA, like how much of those gambling moves are we gonna see come out? Right, Elverts has so many resources here. Double it up into a hard bait. El not quite ready to burst just yet. And ABBA is definitely a character that you can delay your bursts quite a lot because, you know, like we mentioned, she is a big body technically. Oh, the downside second hit finds its mark. What are we gonna do? Elverts Ishnard, nice, just backdash and gets even a whip punish on that downside. Now downside, a great move overall, has two disadvantages. One, it pushes the opponent away a lot, so if the opponent is respecting and FDing, it is technically an RPS loss for you. It wastes a lot of times and pushes them away. The second disadvantage is if you whiff downside, you're gonna get whiff punished, no questions asked. And Elverts Ishnard already putting on display that is able to take those whiff punishes. A pop here. Ooh, but not blocking. There's technically nothing that you can do there as L. You have to block the first 10 frames of coming under that pop. That's the 5B round start. I think Elverts was using that earlier as well. The 5B is a very interesting round start option for Sin in this matchup. It basically stays safe against all of ABBA's special moves. In fact, I think you get to punish all of ABBA's special moves, as well as being able to counter-poke ABBA's round start immediate 5 heavy, which is very interesting. So I guess the way you would counterplay that is take a micro step back and then do a delayed poke. All right, 100 jelly, ready to go. You can't DP there. There was an option, I think, for Elverts to RC, right? If you collide with the armor. Spar slash into the tilt. L. It kind of looked like this was under Elverts' control for such a long time, but then out of a single RPS situation comes L and just blows them out of the game. Very nice response to whip punishing the Big Driver. Like we said, Big Driver is also fairly susceptible to getting whip punished as well. So more often than not, you would love to make contact with the opponent with the Big Driver, at least on block, if nothing else. Right, once again, there we go, the punish! You are so minus out of that command dash from ABBA, because since 5B recovers so fast that I think, it's either you have to guarantee to take a close slash on block, or you just straight up get prone. Right, looking so far so good for Elverts. Far slash, Big Driver at the maximum range there. This is basically the power of Sin Kiss. Every single game that he has been in, just uncontested range for big damage combos. I mean, you have characters like Johnny, for instance, Nagoriyuki. They, they can poke from far. I guess Nagoriyuki is not a good comparison, because Nago does basically the same as Sin does. Whereas, using his universal resource, he can basically get combos out of any range at any time, as long as you have the resources to do so. Right into the corner. And now L. Very limited options here. 6B into 1, 2, 3, activate. And Elverts this time just backdashing out. Of course, gauging distance for that meaty Danzai is very important, because if you do it too close, you might run into a problem if your opponent tries to reversal throw you. But then again, if you keep your distance too much, then you might make the Danzai, backdashable. Hard bait here for Elverts again. L not quite ready to bite. Another one? Yeah, I think at this point L just doesn't burst right. And or he's gonna use all that burst for wild assaults instead. we go, activate. So much meter. But the DP, once again, the DP is not the option. I wonder if Elverts has the... Oh, trying to hard bait it again. But it goes through, we're still in the mode. Pop, and a 6p. There's, again, not much that you can do against that. I think Sin 6p is that 11 frames, so technically you get to act on 1 frame. Could perhaps try to backdash, but I think normal mode backdash is not good enough to get out of those active frames. Ooh, footsies! The 2k from the -3 situation, counter-poking whatever El was putting out there. And again, tries to go for the DP, but the DP is gonna be completely crushed by the fully armored move, Danzai. Luckily for, you know, Elverts, Danzai is only available in the Jealousy Rage mode for a very limited time. Here we go, with Punish, tries to go for an Elk 1. YRC, do we get the deactivation? No, gonna force the pop here. In fact, we'll get a frame trap. That's very interesting, because, like, again, there's been a lot of these situations where El goes into the jelly pop, and he just won't be able to act for a while after that, but still getting hit. Nice, close slash punish, tries to go for a very optimal one. That was a close slash into dash cancel close slash as well. Ooh, nice, working with a little bit of a juggle here. Activation. Now too heavy as an anti-air, man, those buttons are so good in jelly mode. God damn! That too heavy boasts so much range, almost like half screen distance, so many active frames, it's almost impossible to backdash out of. Here we go, activation once again, full jelly. Successful backdash out of the meaty 2k. This time we'll be able to jump out of the 2 heavy from L. 1, 2, 3, we'll have a little bit of jelly left to spend here. Forced pop, immediately into a tilt. I guess from that spacing, Elverts was not quite comfortable unleashing anything, even if they had that 10 frame window open to press something before L gets the, before L gets the act. Good 6p on the 5 heavy. It's definitely one of the buttons that will take care of it. L closing in, DP, we can definitely do that while the opponent is not in Jealous Rage yet. And there's the whiff punish. That's what we were talking about. If you don't go close enough and whiff that Danzai, whiff punish is imminent, especially against long-range characters such as Sinkisk. Out through the wall. You get a nice little refresh here. L looking good. Goes to the other side. Baits the burst. Not to come out just yet. Backdash, the RC and the jump key! And with the slowed amount of frames, we'll be able to make the combo happen very easily here. Good RPS option, goes for a 3-5p, sets up the overhead. I think usually you go for 2 right to get the cleanest possible frame kill. I wonder if Elverts actually, or rather accidentally, got the 3rd one there. But it would probably take some amount of knowledge of, Sin's frame kills for the opponent to realize that, all right, that's one too many and the situation is not going to be meaty anymore. Right, not opting to take the Kara Super here through the wall just yet. Swing and miss, both players swing those big buttons. Here we go, the jump in, but again, DP, not gonna do much. Is that gonna... I think Elverts tried to RC there, but the startup of the RC just taking a little bit too long. Elk 1 into a throw, love that RPS. El will be able to activate here into Danzai, catching a backdash. If you go deep, that's... Ooh, the jump K, look at that button from Sinkisk. A jump K is such a feel-good button for all the Sin players. It's kind of like it's a button with the jump P recovery, but the conversion ability of heavier buttons. Ooh, into the overhead. A Not blocking that one. Missing the reversal super and threading the needle, getting a whip punish between the hits. This will force L into a guaranteed pop on the next screen. Let's see if Elverts takes it into account. Yes, indeed. Ooh, but they don't approach in time. Wait, that was a hard knockdown, wasn't it? Or that wasn't the hard knockdown, so you technically didn't have the frames dash in there, right? Right, activation 2 heavy catching the backlash once again. The button of them buttons. And force the pop. Cost 50 burst for Elverts, but this is a very nice position. Even without stamina, there's not a whole lot that L will be able to unleash here. Good neutral jump into a punish on that throw, and here we go. Once again, the name of the game is Danzai. If the opponent is trying to press whatever, it's gonna beat it. The winning action against that Danzai is blocking after all. Ooh, nice. The RTL wall break. A safe jump, yeah, and I think Abba's reversal supers are fairly slow as well. Which means that Sin should have a pretty easy access to a safe jump after a super jump, or after a hard knockdown wall break. It's with the Rekka, there we go! Into the Danzai again, immediate burst from Elverts. But now the problem, oh, didn't punish between the hits. So that means there is a little bit of RPS for Sin, even in a blocked DP. Here we go, into the safe jump. Will force a guaranteed pop. Now what's the follow-up? Into lots of blast frames. L trying to press after that +6. Which will technically guarantee a close slash for Zing going for L2 Gazelle Stab. Once again, the MVP tool with punish. Ooh, not quite getting there in time. And now Elverts guaranteeing the pop once again. Get the throw, cash out. He's not gonna have a hard knockdown option here, but once again, without that sweet jelly, it's gonna be so hard for L to get anything started. Ooh, missed the hit. I think non-clean hit would have been okay as well, but we still got it. 4-2 is the score that Elverts finds himself at the moment. Here we go with a 5 heavy, close enough to link into a very nice combo. That's like pretty much ABBA player's wet dream. Get that counter hit 5 heavy straight into the jelly activation and go from there. Let's see, will we be able to get a deactivation? Nice, just in time. Even though was kind of forced to forfeit there. Good Oki. As we were talking about in the previous set, it's much more important for ABBA to maintain the resources rather than the position. Because as long as you can go back into the mode, you're usually gonna be okay. It's so hard for an opponent to, contest you anyway. Right there to get in the activation online before Elverts gets there. Quick knockdown this time, respect from Elverts. Oh, but the second hit is a low too! I think Elverts tried to jump out there. 6B into a key grab, nice activation. This will be just a little bit of time. Probably enough time to cash out here. Super? Not quite! So Elverts still has a chance here. Ooh, look at that movement! The slingshot downward straight into a close slash, punishing whatever Elverts was swinging with there. I mean, I guess with the use of meter, you can still make ABBA kinda schmoove even in normal mode. Swinging 5 heavy. The 5 heavy is such a good button to catch backdashes, but also, ooh, very nice. Low crushing, and again. Elverts reaching for the DP, bail me out. 6B, this is so good. The Kara super, and the hard knockdown. Elverts could potentially force L into a situation where the pop is gonna be guaranteed. Yep, we'll be able to do so. Plus frames. The 6K. tried to modify their air momentum there somehow. But the big 6P of Sin Kisk. At the perfect place, at the perfect time. Take a step back, tilt once again. Tilt to the Great Fortune. I think tilt can pretty much be said that that's one of your MVP buttons, if not just straight up the best button to make stuff happen in this matchup. Right, we have all that jelly ready to go. Tries to convert into a throw, goes a little too early. Let's see if Elverts is ready to burst here. Super on their own. Okay, this is gonna cash out. Look at all this damage. I mean, you're not gonna be able to see the damage, but believe when I say that would have been at least half of Elverts' health pool. Right, attempt at the whiff punish there with a 6P. A little too low, or rather, a little too slow. Go with the last 25% of the jelly. Gets a deactivation. That's the safer play for sure. Again, even if you get punished a little, that's fine. Abba is a very tough girl after all. Look at how little damage you're taking from these, you know, big Sin combos. But now the Sin combo still will do quite a lot of damage, and after that, no way out of that combo. Elverts pushing the advantage, 5 to LS3 points here. LS3 points? LSD? Alright. Alright, swinging with all of the buttons. The Rekkas, the tilts. Yeah, with that 4-frame normal. Close slash into 6K for Sin, I think has an exactly 4-frame gap, right? So technically, Abba should be able to trade with that one. Or is it 5? Oh, no, never mind. I think it's a 5-frame gap. So Abba should be able to beat it clean with the 2P. No burst available. So that's gonna mean Elverts is gonna forfeit their life here on this round. Ooh, what a neutral option. Catching the landing recovery of Tilt with a 6K. Not the neutral option that you tend to see a lot from Sin players, but it definitely works out there. Able to get an OTG for an extra 25, and then another 25 from the key grab. RC a little late there. Swings a miss. Elkhan's coming in with a whiff punish. Once again, will force the pop. Low slash into just a basic strike throw. Generally named the game when it comes to these standard pressure characters in Guilty Gear Strive. Uh-oh, popping Elverts to the other side, and now that could potentially be a kill. Misses the Kara Super, but no worries.
Duel 3.
El basically didn't have any other resources but the potential deflect shield to use, and you definitely don't want to use those burst resources when you're still sitting on a round lead. Nice, baits the immediate burst. We're gonna follow up. I mean, OTG Rekka 2 is something that did build, again, 25 key gauge for L. Right, a clean combo into a close slash, convert into a throw, into an overhead. This is Sin Kisk, it flows really well. Ooh, but that was so nice. This could almost be a kill. No, won't be able to route into Jealousy Rage mode, unfortunately. And that means Elverts is gonna grow his lead. 6-3 here.
Duel 1.
Will be a tough comeback to make for L if they still want to have this. But 5 heavy counter hit is definitely one way to start the comeback. Alright, trading with the 5B from Sin. Nice 2K, it's a nice match button, massive range. To the other side, and there should be so many different ways to close this out. That is one of them. Any button will do. Close slash, yes indeed. Whenever you're able to like route your combos properly, it feels so good for Abba. And on the other hand, if you don't have your clean conversions into you know, wall breaks and into, you know, refreshing your jelly gauge, it feels doubly bad. Here we go with a big counter hit. Let's see the routing here. We'll be able to take it through the wall unless we have fast RC into deactivation. Should be able to block here. No! The normal mode backdash! The worst backdash in the game! The dichotomy between the modes is hands down the best one when jealousy mode is activated. But normal mode backdash, absolute garbo! And here comes Elverts making the comeback or making the corner carry happen with the use of burst in a situation where they had almost no resources to spend. Very nice resource usage, very nice routing from Elverts. And now, first set point position for our Sin hero here. How will L choose to tackle this? Throw 1, 2 into a low. Plus frames, and it goes. So it goes. One more hit could be it. Very nice timing on the jump. Elverts doesn't quite have the burst yet here. And the downside once again. This is gonna be big damage. Oh, I spoke too soon. Drops the conversion, but goes for the cash out. This is a wall. And half of your jelly. Ja, 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 ja. Now, the problem is, we are in normal mode. The burst and 50 meter and a dream. Here's the dream! Gets the reversal super, but of course, that was probably one of the only things that L could have, you know, gambled with. Nice whip punish on the 5B there. BP glow slash activates from the perfect distance. I think there are quite a few characters whose far slash would activate from, you know, that kind of range. But I guess Abba seems to be one of the luckier characters who at least don't have, you know, difficulties with punishing the Sin DP between the hits. Unless you're in unless you're currently engaging in some sort of strike. 405 head with an L count. Once again, the frame kill 5B. Works as a frame kill for both the 6K low and the hook stomp overhead. Now L has a lot of resources to defend with here. Goes into wire C. Connecting with pretty much any strike is gonna build some key gauge back for Abba. But now, into the set point position you go once again. L back against the corner. Metaphorically, there we go with the big armor. Don't care about any of that Sin shenanigans. Try to deactivate. We're gonna get the hit here, but do we get the deactivation? No, the pop is imminent. But the 10 frames are actually not enough to L count in there. And the immediate pop, or the pop into immediate tilt will be able to crush that low. Elverts Ishnard getting once again reversal supered. That reversal supered has gotten L so much value in this matchup. Round start, L count counter. The close slash connects very high on L, pulling the target back onto the ground. Overhead, hits clean. Oh, but there's the trade with 2P, the 4 frame normal. Get a wall stick. This ain't gonna be a hard knockdown. How is L gonna get the activation here? He's looking at the honest way. Gets the burst bait. If he doesn't drop, this could be it. Elverts Ishnard blazing forward. Last hit point, last pixel. But the big driver is gonna deliver the chip damage. And so it goes. 7-4. Elverts cleans the matchup. And another win under their belt on Bounty Hunters. Okie dokie. Damn, we're a little behind in schedule as per our usual timings. We still have 2 to go. I guess it makes sense. A lot of the games tonight have gone basically down to the wire. I think 4-7 is like the most uneven score we've had tonight. So almost reaching the 3-hour mark already. But 2 more. Whammel versus Sierra Vice is the name of the game of the next matchup. Hope I pick the right people. It's always a weird thing when you have streamer mode enabled and you can't see people's tags properly. Oh, I also just saw that Patachu made top 8 on Combo Breaker, and I think the top let's see, the top 8 for Combo Breaker is gonna start in... Is it in 1 hour? I think 1 hour, right? So we basically have perfect amount of time to wrap things up here before we get to watch that. Alright, Whammel. The Bridget player who has had so much success as of recent. Basically on the grind, you probably see Whammel in... I see Whammel in pretty much every single, you know... Every single open bracket, every single, you know, tournament that I am participating in. So she's definitely on the grind. On the other side of things, allegedly... Sierra Vice is on a little bit of a... I think Sierra Vice is coming back from a little bit of a Strive hiatus, so could potentially be a little rusty. It's gonna be... It remains to be seen how rusty we're actually talking about here, and whether it's gonna matter. Because Sierra Vice is an absolute unit of a gamer. I mean, both of these gamers are. This matchup was definitely a little tricky on the previous season, for Goat Lewis that is, but now with all the universal changes and with White Wild Assault being very great, especially against characters who want to keep you out, the matchup is a little, like, it flipped a little on, it's gone from Bridget's favorite to, I believe, Goat Lewis' favorite, as perverse as that does sound. But you know, theoretical stuff means nothing. And in Guilty Gear, gamer talent, ability to play the video game is everything. Right. Even is Stray trying to swing with the big coffin. Getting tagged by my killing machine. But here's a big opening. This is exactly the only one thing that all Goat Lewis players want. Make them block something. Make them block close slash. That's literally your victory condition. And here it comes. The mix-ups, the chip damage, the guard crush. The big burly man has all of that. We're definitely gonna see not one or two, but many of these kind of rounds where Whammel will probably keep up the sort of the pressure as well as keep up the control. And then Sierra Vice will probably find one opening, such as... Yeah, Whammel smartly saving the burst for that Wild Assault incident. And putting Sierra Vice back in the corner. And now, you're eating mix-ups, the overhead strings are coming. High knockdown. We do have some options here. BRC, Super could be available. I think Sierra might have actually tried to go for it there, perhaps. I blinked and I missed the frame. But there was definitely some sort of reversal option going on there. And Blue Burst is what we're gonna be gambling this round, or rather this game on for Sierra Vice. It is unfortunate when you actually have to go for the Blue Burst. It's often like last ditch effort. Like the last thing that you would love to use your meter on, or rather your burst on, is the Blue Burst. Gold Burst is kind of goated because it does build a lot of burst back, so it gives you at least one stock of Wild Assault more. And of course, the Wild Assault is the primary suspect that you would love to spend all of your meter on, if possible. Because when you're Wild Assaulting, that probably means that you're also pressuring afterwards. And how does Lewis win? Well, just getting pressure going. But now, speaking of pressure, Whammel working with some good stuff of her own. Cut with the low to S. However, Sierra is able to flip the position without spending any of those burst resources. I think I want to try to direct your attention to how these players are spending, especially their burst resources, because this matchup is gonna revolve hugely around the existence of the Wild Assault, but also the threat of the Wild Assault. That means whenever Sierra Vice has at least the 50th burst available, you know, Whammel has to respect the existence of the option. It might not come out, but it might. That's the nasty thing about the RPS of fighting games. Here we go, the Wild Assault reaching from almost more than half screen away. The thing is though, if you connect with a Wild Assault on block from too far, it's not gonna put you like in the most optimal pressure position afterwards. So there is some amount of risk and reward. Ooh, big 6 heavy. And converting. I think this is gonna be really close to finishing. It would have finished, but Sierra is missing the guts-killing conversion ender. Whammel is very low health here, though. Oh my god! Didn't even have to block the... Whammel, you're actually sicko. Dashing into the Roger grab, and then completely evading the beam super as well as the Wild Assault. That was a big, massive, fat W for Whammel. Dash into a 2 heavy. I think that's a really nice sequence. I can see that baiting like 2 different kinds of options. You dash at Gold Lewis at round start. If you see Wild Assault, you throw. If you see jump, you 2S. Right, get the ball break. Blue Wild Assault break the wall. Whammel has so many tension resources to work with. Sees the jump D coming. Cutting close. Is it gonna kill? Yes, indeed. Even Gold Lewis, who is one of the toughest characters in terms of defensive modifiers, will have to yield at the face of that guts-crushing super there at the end. I mean, that Roger super is pretty good at, you know, it's gonna deliver multiple hits, so technically good at shaving the last pixels. Nice whip punish there with the far slash. Was also able to make the white Wild Assault whip as well, so that was a very massive RPS victory to start out with for Whammel. Here comes Sierra though. Switch sides, or spend the 50 meter to drift back in there. Ooh, he's gonna take that drone as a punish and a throw. One more. What's the mix-up? We're close range. FD trying to push, desperately trying to push Sierra Vice away, but Sierra Vice commits the 50 burst in order to get the guaranteed victory there. Now, we talk about small losses and small victories. Small loss for Sierra for having to spend that Wild Assault. Small victory for Whammel to not have to deal with the Wild Assault going into this round. Attempting the whiff punish, however, the far slash not quite reaching far enough. Nice, gets the air poke out before the minigun comes active. And the cash out. But now, the almost 100 burst that Sierra Vice has available is gonna be so big. I think they are never gonna take blue burst here, yeah. I think you would much rather, as a big body, especially as a Gold Lewis, go down on this in this round. Like, no matter what the score situation was, even if you know, you didn't have the round lead, you would take the L like a man and just move into the next round with full burst resources. Jump D, reaching from so far away. Trying to get a whiff punish using the minigun. Not quite this time. Kickstart RC, caught the backdash with the 2S. Such a far-reaching low as well. And here we go with the pressure. The behemoths of the Kara kind. Whiff punish with a 2S. However, I wonder if you can get a clean whiff punish out of that. Probably wasn't ready to buffer a behemoth typhoon at the end there. ODG, is it gonna be enough? Yes, indeed. Slam with those spikes. And Sierra Vice, the skin of his teeth once again. Able to take that game. Ooh, that was actually big. Whammel was able to catch the Wild Assault startup. So Sierra Vice ended up losing that 50 burst, while the Wild Assault never came out. Those are the kind of RPS spacings, the neutral options that you would love to get against big buddies if possible. Safe jump. Yeah, I saw Sierra Vice turning the super there. I think trying to commit to the 360 PRC, or perhaps even more. My burst resource is ready to go again. Once again, Sierra Vice spent the red, so the white Wild Assault, but getting poked out of it. The magic number is 9 frames. 9 frames is how much it takes for the Wild Assault to become active, or rather to become invulnerable. But Whammel, those are some massive victories. Now cash out, going into the next wall, or next. It's kind of infuriating though that Sierra Vice was able to build so much burst out of it. Now the Wild Assault coming out. One hit could be all that it takes. Nope. Whammel staying tight. And finding the Abare. Bridget is of course a character who has access to a DP as well, but so far we haven't seen that part of the RPS too much. It does make sense though, if God Louis punishes one of your DPs, you're basically out of the round immediately, as soft as you are. Right, 100 meter ready to be unleashed. Oh, here comes, oh, wait, that clashed? That clashed and Sierra clash cancelled into a jump B? Are you kidding me? Look at that damage. Won't be able to get the hard knockdown, but that's definitely an equalizer. I would say still advantage Whammel. Shouldn't be able to kill right, even with blue Wild Assault. She is trying, but the combo drops. Air-to-air situation, yeah, that will combo into a neat little conversion. Alright, 5B. Round start was able to catch something from Sierra Vice. You know, Gottluis, of course, suffers from the slow button syndrome. He does have a 5-framer, but outside of his 5-framer range, like if you can't make a 2P connect, look at that again! Sierra Vice goes, Sierra Vice got his, the first Wild Assault baited, or rather counter-poked, went immediately into the other one. But now, Big Gamba, Air Behemoth Typhoon finds its mark, pushing Whammel into the corner. Now the boxing has been started. How are we gonna escape? 2P, waiting for a response. There's no response from Whammel. And again, small wins and small losses. A win for Whammel, 0 burst now from Sierra Vice. So we'll be able to start this round very convincingly. Or rather, white Wild Assault free. I think the best option is actually for Whammel to not break this wall, as perverse as it sounds. Because as soon as that wall stick happens, yep, that's half burst ready to go. With the Thunderbird, accompanied by... Ooh, that was a great double jump, completely nullifying the white Wild Assault. But Sierra Vice, the closer or the lower you run in health, the faster your burst resources are also recovering. And now, the RPS. We're gonna go burn it all down. Whammel will actually commit to it. If that was so great once again, or rather crazy, I was about to say. If Sierra Vice blocks that 2K, and then the following button as well, Whammel's basically gonna be in a guaranteed punish as the beam super comes and sweeps down the screen. Right, strong start here. Finds the low as well. Blue burst is the option this time. But the downside is, oh, found a good 2P conversion. Yeah, it's gonna be whiff punished, one of the best whiff punishers in the game. Bridget goes about it a little different than some other characters like Chip or Geo, who just have a sick amount of mobility. For Bridget is the massive amount of range on her normals that gives her the ability to whiff punish from almost full screen away. Fake, oh my god, that was a fake! Cross up, did that jump heavy even connect? Really peculiar situation. Speaking of jumping mix-ups, here comes Whammel. Collides with the wild assault this time, and now potential checkmate position. That throw break was so big for Whammel, able to push Sierra Vice half screen away and nullify the follow-up pressure basically. Finds the close slash, frame trap, not able to convert completely. I think, yeah, we were talking about this. I think Whammel is doing this on purpose. She's not breaking the wall unless she is ready to kill. Because, again, the wall stick will give Sierra Vice that 50 burst back. That ever so important 50 burst. So literally the best case, or the best, what should we call it? The best path to victory will be to pressure Gold Lewis without breaking the wall until he has lost quite a lot of health and try to burst him down from like half health away so that he doesn't enjoy the increased amount of, you know, burst recovery, as well as doesn't get to use a lot of that burst meter that you would get back from getting wall stuck. And understandably, that's a very tall order. That's a very hard game plan to successfully execute. It's fair to say that, you know, at some point or another, Goat Lewis is gonna have those burst resources available. Because, like, you don't do very much damage. I think this is gonna catch Bridget. Yes, indeed. And into the pressure situation. Sierra Vice is so close to another stock of that Wild Assault. There it is. It is active. But now, Whammel can choose to burn resources of her own in order to force Sierra Vice into not being able to use that Wild Assault at all. The blue Wild Assault reset the pressure, and then afterwards, deflect shield. Actually, that was a deflect shield that Sierra Vice had to use in order to not get mixed up out of the round. Really great RPS options from both players, back and forth. Very nice, the yo-yo coming back. Picks up for an additional conversion. Too heavy, a little too early. So Sierra Vice able to get a jump D knockdown. Even on block, that jump D leads into some really great situation for God Lewis. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Whammel hammer through the wall. That's now that's a God Lewis round if I've ever seen one. And we're almost like, Sierra Vice was basically threatening with an encore of the previous round. But Whammel swiftly transitions into the blue burst, preventing the same tragedy from happening. But now, once again, full burst Goat Lewis coming at you soon. It ain't gonna matter if you can keep up this pressure. And I think, yeah, it should be enough, even though Goat Lewis is pretty tough. But like we mentioned, I think Goat Lewis and Sierra Vice are happily gonna take that round loss and move into this last game, holding on to those burst resources. Right, they will go into blue burst here. I think the blue burst is fairly good if you have full security gauge, so that you can follow up the burst with a drone. But if you were the blue burst with nothing, literally nothing else to follow up, if you don't even have a burst, or rather, even if you don't even have a 50 tension ready to go for the super, then you're in a really tough spot. Drifting forward, building resources. Oh, that's an OTG, and Miss is getting whiff punished by Whammel. And look at these resources. This is gonna be mix-up after mix-up. One more. Reset the pressure. Rolling movement going in. Sierra will have to endure this. And the last mix-up is dash in throw. Yeah, it feels so bad. You blocked for such a long time there. But it's how it goes. Whammel basically smelled the blood in the water and just committed all of her resources into a mix-up after a mix-up, a pressure reset after a pressure reset, and basically forced Sierra Vice to hold block for, what, 10-15 seconds in a row? That's Gold Louis live for you. Now the hard knockdown coming through. Sierra Vice, another very important decision to make here. Are we gonna spend the burst resources or are we gonna take them into the next round? And more often than not, the answer is gonna be, yep, we take those. We take those L's and move into the next round. Here we go. Still, no DP in sight. Whammel just choosing to use the universal mechanics. That is actually very great on Whammel. It's sort of a blessing and a curse for a lot of these DP characters. Oh, trying to get a punish, however, extending herself into the minigun. Slightly unfortunate happenstance there. But yeah, for characters who have strong DPs, I mean, Bridget DP is not the strongest out there for sure, but basically DP characters have a lot of the times an easy way out without having to engage with necessarily the... Oh, are we pressing? No, going under there. And now tough situation for Sierra Vice. We'll be able to build to one stock of Wild Assault. But again, the question is, when is it gonna be able to be used? Whammel with so many resources, YRC is available, DPRC is available, but she just holds it. Oh, that was a great decision. YRC, or rather Wild Assault, to nullify the Roger Super and get the pressure going. Sierra Vice still working with the 50. Lots of jumps, swings into a big behemoth launch. However, that SpaceX rocket is gonna whiff this time. Into the 5D tap. Is that gonna be enough? I think there was a little risk there, and that will be enough for Whammel to move into the 6-2 position. And Whammel once again showing us what she's made of. One of the previous intermediate players, no longer an intermediate, now one of the advanced players, and looking to eliminate one of the OGs of the scene, Sierra Vice here, unless Sierra has something to say about that. The jump out gets tagged, the rolling movement completely whiffs, but Sierra Vice, no, not flinching. Deflect shield. Won't be able to get much, unfortunately. It feels so bad, like you would love to use the deflect shield once in a while when you don't have any other defensive resources to be used, when you can't even blue burst, but then it's only gonna give you so much because, you know, Goat Louis, what are you gonna use after it? Often enough, you would love to have some sort of a follow-up. Ooh, but here's the Goat Louis round. Sierra Vice showing some signs of life here. Good block on the overhead tring. I gotta commend Whammel's defense. Like, how many times have you seen Sierra Vice breaking through the guard of Whammel this set? Not very many, right? But on the other hand, here comes Whammel, time to press the offense. Trying to do the set play thing. Ooh, very nice switch of sides. And Sierra, actually that doesn't hit OTG, that's a clean hit. But now, look at Whammel's resources. This might, oh, okay. Sierra still alive. I was about to say, if Whammel gets this DPRC off, this might actually turn out to be Whammel advantage, Bridget advantage here. But Sierra has made crazier comebacks, let me tell you that much, during his time. So not all hope is lost for Team Germany yet. String airtight, gets caught. Holding on to the ever so important Wild Assault resources. So, but as strong as the White Wild Assault is, Whammel has shown the ability to just control the screen and keep the gap less than 9 frames. As long as you're poking at Goat Lewis at least at 8-frame intervals, means that the Wild Assault won't be able to be unleashed. And now, no Wild Assault available from the round start. This is a set point position from our Bridget hero. Could this be where it ends? The big counter hit from the bot. Luckily for Sierra Vice, the wall gives in extremely fast. But the life, it is flowing out of Sierra's veins. Banks on the deflect shield, but that is for naught. For Whammel has done it convincingly. Couple of good wins. I mean, Sierra definitely didn't go down without a fight. And I would dare say that every single time that Sierra was able to mount any sort of offense, he got around. But the big question is the frequency with which you can take these advantageous situations, the frequency with which you actually get to pressure, the frequency with which you actually get to play the game. And the fact of the matter is, Sierra piloting the Gold Lewis against one of the most oppressive control characters in the game just didn't get to do stuff often enough. All right, hold on to your seats, gamers. We've got one more ready to be broadcasted. Revill. Second time on Bounty Hunters, or is it the third time? I think it's the second time for Revill. Had that one absolute banger of a matchup against Bahnhof Banger. Bahnhof Banger? I think. And now it's gonna be another heavy hitter from the community, Strelitzia. Before we talk smack about the matchup, let me ping the players. Now, I think Strelitzia had some time constraints. So I hope, because the timing I actually gave Strelitzia was quite off compared to where we are at the moment. I hope that Strelitzia still has time to play. Alright, the word on the street is that Strelitzia is good to go. So nothing but bangers under their belts on Bounty Hunters so far. These two gamers enter the ring. Revill, probably the second strongest Bounty Hunter. I mean, Bounty Hunter, sure, but the second strongest Sin player in the whole of Europe, allegedly. If the strongest soldier badge goes to Patachu, who is, by the way, top 8 in Combo Breaker at the moment. So yeah, I think that's like credentials enough to say that you're kind of one of the best Sin players in the world, period. But here's definitely a close second in our humble little European region, Revill. While the heavy hitters haven't been home, Revill has been, as far as I've seen, racking wins back and forth, taking sets, taking open brackets. I think Revill was the latest winner of the weekly salt. Was he? I would have to actually have a couple of seconds. Let me go into Salty. Which channels do they usually post the top 8s? Or was it Untitled? Well, either way, I'm pretty sure I remember correctly. Revill has been taking a couple of open brackets recently. But in case of Strelitzia has also been taking names. Strelitzia killed one of Finland's finest last week, Rygant May. Granted, it was literally down to the last pixel kind of a fight. You should definitely not undermine that victory, though. There are very few players who've been able to take, you know, to extract wins from, you know, super high-level players such as Raigan. But now, Asuka versus Sin. Very interesting matchup. Both the characters have quite a lot of different good tools against one another. Sin, of course, Beak Driver is a big player in this matchup. Most commonly used from first poking into a cube and then canceling into a Beak Driver. You can basically catch Asuka from almost half screen or more away. Asuka, of course, has the, you know, 2D is a very strong button. You wanna pay attention to when Asuka has spells available that Sin can't poke into, and when those are not available, the 2D is probably gonna be your best friend in this matchup to basically say, stop pressing buttons, don't do anything on the ground. Right, the burst very early here for Strelitzia. Asuka is one of those, ooh, nice 6P against the Beak Driver. You know, as good of a poke as that Beak Driver is, he does have vulnerability against low profiling things. And now, have some good buffs active. Revill is not gonna wait for the opportunity to, you know, let Strelitzia activate all the buffs and then poke as well. Right, lots of yeah, there we go with the 2D. Strelitzia was holding a lot of utility in his hand. So for those cases, yeah, the 2D. 2D is such an interesting button. It is technically a projectile. I mean, it is literally a projectile that advances on the ground. Nice. We'll be able to play the heavy button into special move RPS while holding on to the DP card. Big super wall break here, and Strelitzia a little low on the mana. The first 6 heavy counter, it breaks it. Misses the combo. Strelitzia definitely not out of the woods yet. We'll have to wait for a couple more frames to recover the mana, which was never to be recovered. Alright, round start DP. I think that would definitely beat. I mean, if when Asuka starts with a screamer in his hand, like a TK Screamer or a normal jump Screamer is one of the more common round start options, which you can both definitely beat with that micro dash DP round start. Strelitzia losing all the good cards, losing the mana shield protection as well, and the heart knockdown. Tough situation. What are you gonna do? Deflect shield into super would be available, but the 2K 6 heavy big frame trap, knocking Strelitzia out of the first game. Yeah, that's more 6 heavy frame traps than I've seen in a while. These top players making the hard-hitting buttons work. Strelitzia is holding on to DP card himself. Options are open here. Revill still holding on to his burst. Frame trapping low. And you can see immediately Strelitzia throwing that instant projectile that basically disallows Revill from extending themselves into the poke. Nice backdash out of the DP. Not drawing into any useful cards. So the RPS here not favoring Strelitzia. Shop for some good ones. We have a good mix here. Not only the what do they call it? The Exodia, but also beat shift and teleport. So a good mix of mobility, offense, and buffs. However, yeah, the 2K, sorry, that 6K coming through. And a very meaty backdash proof low option. With the BMB round start, combo option spending 50 burst to get that wall break and the positive bonus. There we go, there's the 6P. The button of gods. Cancel that into Beak Driver, and if you poke basically into any of the standard cubes, there's yeah, it's gonna be tough for Asuka to deal with that. Wait, did I put point on wrong? Yeah, I think I was supposed to put it on Revill, so this would be 0, 2, right? I did actually realize that myself as well, as you were saying. Alright, nice conversion. Walking with the 5-beat this time. There we go, the instant projectile, the guard crush goes online. A lot of the times when you're sort of trying to appraise what the Asuka player is going for next, you're trying to look at his hand. But the bit shift producing a little too many, couple too many shots to be able to 5B through all of those. I think Revill did 5B and then into... but the L-Count won't be able to low profile under those. I think the poke into L-Count is definitely an option, but there are just a lot of spells in Asuka's deck that will be able to call it out. Are we gonna go for a burst here? Yep, the hero burst is the name of the game. Baits the burst from Strelitzia though. This hero burst could actually end up being pretty valuable here. Revill won't be able to do any traits, however. There we go, the MVP, the 2D. So Strelitzia basically had only Arpeggio in his hand, which technically would be a good spell to disallow Sin from pressing any buttons. Very aggressive round start here again. But, you know, you need time for the Arpeggio to actually go online, which basically meant that Strelitzia had to reach for that 2D for an emergency projectile. Oh, as an anti-air, that's actually gonna be pretty good. Even if you know, would work as a really nice meterless combo as well. For Revill, making sure that the combo happens. Strelitzia ends up saving that burst till the next round. Would have been a kind of hard comeback. 6B actually gets there in time before the meteor goes online. What is the name of that spell again? Meatball from the sky is the purple thingy. Again, yeah, that's the feature I was talking about. The 6K is so good at preventing backdashes. It reaches ridiculously far and it's very, very active. So very few backdashes in the game will be able to do anything about it. And the chip damage from the hoof stomp. Double hit, double the fun. Revill, third hit, or rather third game. But you know, no matter how far this set progresses, so far, all the games that Strelitzia has played on Bounty Hunters have been comeback sets.
Duel 1.
I think Strelitzia has made a comeback from completely desperate-looking situations, such as like 6-2 or something like that. Oh, there we go. The cancel into Beak Driver. Such a strong tool again. Won't be able to get into the throw range this time, and now Strelitzia. Very decent chance here. Let's see if Revill chooses to use the burst. The burst has been used, and a whiff punish on 2D. That's a very rare sight. The 2D is actually relatively difficult for Sin to whiff punish, because it recovers fairly fast, and it asks you to stand at a very precise distance. Missing with a close slash. Strelitzia coming down on the wrong side, or rather the other side. Trying to shop for good cards. Teleport straight into the L-Count. Oh no! Starting with 2 Screamers here. Able to make Revill block the tail end of that. Now full screen. Alright, this time Strelitzia making sure that they don't cancel into too many unsafe things after the cube. Teleport out of there. Only a teleport remaining in his hands. Goes for the shopping super. Ooh, that was a great 5B sequence. Pokes every single cube out of bit shift, I think. Ooh, stomp FRC low. Wasn't able to hit confirm that properly. Now Strelitzia sitting only the Exodia pieces in his hand, but the mana shield breaks just before the super, delivering massive damage. That's like almost half of your health. I think around like third of your life if your mana shield breaks before the last hit of Tyrant Barrel. Oh my goodness. Right, very explosive start for Revill. This is kind of like how this matchup goes. If you are able to sort of get the control going when you get your combo pieces as Asuka, the rounds can take very long, and you know, a lot of that is gonna be, you know, the Sin player sitting back and just blocking. But if Sin gets in, oh boy, look at this damage! Bam! That's a mana shield gone, no useful cards. Yeah, even a throw is gonna do so much freaking damage. DP card in hand. Oh, here comes a DP from Revill though. Goes in with the 2 heavy meaty, the low starter. Here we go, gambles it all on DP. This time, Revill not... God, I love those 5P, 5Ps. Against like cubes that produce multiple hits, you do have like, you perhaps do have option to poke with a 6P and sort of keep holding onto the 6P active frames and wait for the cubes to collide with you. But you can also do what Revill has been doing for the most part and just go for multiple 5Ps. There we go. With another one. Recognizes that those, like, there are distances where the cubes have so much spread that you won't actually be able to go for another poke. That was one of those situations, and Revill did recognize it and jumped out of it. I believe 5P is a jump cancelable move, right? I'm pretty sure. As a Sin player, I think I should know, but I don't. Alright, Strelitzia would love to get some distance between the opponent and him to be able to open that gate. But Revill says no. Brutal. Break the gate. Break the mana shield. Break the wall. And Strelitzia not able to even recharge enough mana to get the shield back. Revill just blazing forward with all the right options. Sin is such a demon against Asuka. I think it's widely accepted that Sin is probably one of the stronger characters against Asuka, along with the likes of... Oh, nice throwing Strelitzia out of their DP card. The same rules do apply to the wizard after all. It is a normal DP, so it can be thrown as well. Here we go with the close slash, and since the mana shield is broken, that's gonna be a sure kill. And once again, Strelitzia looking at a situation where they're just desperately trying to end the endless pressure of Revill's. Here comes the burst. Revill with the patience, look at that. Faking the dash in and then stopping just in the active range of the laser beam spell. Now here comes bravery from Strelitzia's side, dashing in deep. Ah, the 2D whips, that was such an unfortunate thing. 2P frame trap, 6P. At least this time Strelitzia has the mana recharge spell protecting the mana shield. I think it's almost impossible to break the mana shield as long as the mana regen passive is active. Here we go. I think I saw the auto bookmark and has the gravity staff as well. Revill should probably be, yeah, cutting their losses and skipping into the last round with all of that burst resources ready to be spent. There we go. With a jump. Screamer taking care of Revill's options. Ooh, the repulsor rod actually pushing the rainbow cube into the beak driver before it goes active. The jump punish. Oh no, the repulsor rod! No, the repulsor rod! Wrong way! The gate opens to the wrong direction and Revill has their path open. And now with a great 2P mash, that was a good read for very aggressive read, but a very decent read for the occasion from Strelitzia. Teleport behind the big driver, yes indeed. That's definitely one counterplay that you can have against, you know, Sin poking into your cubes and canceling the big driver. As soon as you see the poke happening, teleport, go behind them, and if it indeed was the big driver, well, they're gonna be a sitting duck there. Alright, the last hit of the rainbow cube, setting up a meaty. And Strelitzia is trying to shuffle through their deck. A lot of awkward cards, so going into the Mulligan Super here. The Mulligan Super is such a relief for when you basically brick your hand with spells that you just simply can't cast. Ooh, all right. Opening the gate and then teleporting out of it. There's always a risk that when you open the arpeggio, that if your opponent gets to poke you before the volley of the cubes comes online, it's gonna abort the whole sequence like so here. So I think one of the better options is to use arpeggio and then immediately teleport to a location where your opponent just can't catch you at all. Nice recognition there that the 2 heavy was still available from that far slash. And again, Tyrant Barrel, the massive damage against the broken mana shield. Alright, the aerial screamer calling out the Roundstar Elk here. The hand is empty, jump D. Finds its mark. And this is gonna be a very big hitting combo. Very close to a mana shield break. Is it gonna be enough? Not quite. Yes, it is! Just barely. Is a tough situation. I think Strelitzia will just have to yield. No burst inside, no nothing. You're donezo. And Revill moves into 6 points. It is literally the rerun of Strelitzia's debut match on Bounty Hunters. He was down 6-2 that time as well, I believe. Now let's see if he can make a miracle again. Really good teleport. I think the teleports are starting to work out so well for Strelitzia. Not as a mix-up tool, but as actually a neutral playing tool. The Repulsive Rod momentarily pushes the cubes away from Revill. Teleport into a cube, very nice. We have the combo pieces in hand, was able to use the auto refill, however, that only takes effect for 5 seconds. And those 5 seconds have passed, and Revill is pushing the offense. Very low mana, anything. Deflect Shield was probably the best that you could do. Using a lot of mana, or rather, a lot of health to recharge all of that mana. Mana recharge, oh no, baits the DP. And this will be a kill for Revill, look at that. Breaks the wall, breaks the shield. And perhaps the last chance, last dance for our Norwegian Asuka hero. Still undefeated on Bounty Hunters, but perhaps that ends here. Good start for Strelitzia though. Send the bit shift. Ooh, going a little bit too close. Man, that was a lot of backwards momentum. Revill was not only backdashing, but also got deflect shielded there. The pause button, very nice 5B poke into the rainbow cube. Come to me, my child. Ooh, there we go again. The RPS with the teleport. But the downside is, like, you can only have the teleport in your hand so many times. And now, the mana shield perhaps broken for the last time. Massive damage from Tyrant Barrel coming in. Safe jump is available. Anything is available. Overhead has the burst. Oh no, there was no way to avoid that. The next hit of the hoof stomp would have killed. Revill knew. Strelitzia knew. It was checkmate. Wow. Well, that is the power of one of the strongest Sin players, if not just straight up one of the strongest player in Europe overall. Revill Sin, ladies and gentlemen, putting on display how to control the Shadow Wizard with all the right tools. It was really good RPS options though that Strelitzia was representing, especially towards the end of the set, just going into the teleport whenever he was able to. But like we said, you can only have that teleport available so often. And so it goes. Revill takes it 7-2. And that will basically... I will basically call an end to our weekly Bounty Hunters. And since Combo Breaker top 8 is so close to starting, I believe we're gonna go do a quick one here. And just skip into the Combo Breaker string. Where is it coming from? It's Team Spooky? Both Funky P and Team Spooky are at the moment in the Guilty Gear Stripe category. Well, anyway, If you want to play next week, you know the deal. Join the Discord. The sign-up forms will be posted there in just a couple of minutes. Thank you, everybody who were part of this Bounty Hunters experience. Not just the players or the organizers, but also you, the viewers. Thank you so much. I'm off the watch, Combo Breaker. You should be too. And next week, Slayer. If you want to be on the Slayer debut event for Bounty Hunters next week, go sign up. Other than that, we're out. See you next Sunday. Stay safe. Bye-bye.